this campfire?
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 71 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 7 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A motorcyclist died following a crash in Westmoreland County. 24-year-old Riley Hillegas, authorities said, was riding his motorcycle on Bowman Hollow Road in Hempville Township late Friday night when he lost control and struck a guardrail. Hillegas later died at the hospital. That crash under investigation. A bicyclist and vehicle collided at North Park, sending the bicyclist to the hospital in critical condition. This crash happened around 12:30 Saturday afternoon near the North Park Boathouse on Pierce Mill Road. Preliminary investigation found that the vehicle struck the bicyclist while turning into the boathouse entranceway. A terrifying incident near a fast food restaurant in Idaho. Customers in the parking lot were seen running from gunfire Saturday. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Multiple police agencies responding to a shooting at an In-N-Out in Idaho.
Any available units if you can start heading towards In-N-Out for an active shooter.
Terrifying video showing a man standing in the drive-thru at this Twin Falls In-N-Out, pointing a gun and firing. Families in that parking lot running for their lives. Cars speeding away, running over a traffic cone.
What's happening? Shoot. Go. Just go.
First responders on the scene closing roads, telling people in the area to stay away.
3 people were killed in that incident, including the suspected shooter. KDK Radio News Time at 7:02. Time to visit RomeMonuments.com. Life is a journey to remember. Memorialize that journey. RomeMonuments.com. The AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
14 years in prison for killing a young woman. A 15-year sentence for a crash that caused 3 deaths. 12 and a half years for killing a child and critically injuring her mother. All true stories, all caused by marijuana-impaired drivers. No matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So, if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, contact NICB at reportinsurancefraud.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
There's a world of opportunity out there, beyond the typical 9 to 5, where purpose and grit come together, where the American spirit and ingenuity are welcomed in places that could really use your skills and your experience. We're talking about the Peace Corps, with volunteers living and working in communities around the globe. And it's been called the toughest job you'll ever love. Tough, because it asks so much of you. To dig deeper, get your hands dirty, to go that extra mile, to rise to the occasion and meet challenges head on. And the love part comes from being part of something bigger than yourself, from building bonds that last a lifetime. It's knowing your hard work transformed lives, including your own. After 65 years, the Peace Corps is still the toughest job you'll ever love. Explore opportunities in more than 60 countries. Learn about benefits and apply at peacecorps.gov/serve.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a humid day with rain and a thunderstorm. Any thunderstorm may be rather gusty with a high of 78. Then an evening thunderstorm gives way to just a shower or two late tonight with a low of 67, followed by another humid day tomorrow with a morning thunderstorm, then some afternoon sun, high 80, leading to a dry Tuesday with some sun, high 83. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's time to get green. Doug Oster is here. All natural, no pesticides, no artificial ingredients. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
As you enjoy your first cup of coffee or maybe second, you're seeing that we have the rain, and now you're starting to see and getting ready to reap the benefits, the harvest, if you will. You're looking out at that garden. So now you have a few questions. Well, you've come to the right place because Doug Oster, DougOster.com, is ready to take your calls. And just as in every situation when it comes to the gardening world, the early bird gets the worm. So give us a call, 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020. And we always begin Doug's show by giving you an opportunity to win an amazing $25 gift certificate to Sorgles in Wexford if you're the 10th caller at 412-922-1020. But Doug really wants to talk to you. So all of your gardening questions right now, 866-391-1020. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. Why can't I see you?
Let me move that.
There, it's better.
Is that much better?
Yes. The only reason I come in here is so we can have a good show and see each other and play off each other in the way we've done for 22 years. This magical show we call The Organic Gardener.
But you brought my favorite thing today.
I
love peaches.
So happy for you. I didn't know.
And we're doing tomatoes next hour on the Coons Cooking. This is my kind of day.
Wow. Darn, I was going to ask people today, actually, what they do with all their tomatoes. I better hold off on that because...
But why do I love peaches so much?
That's what I want to know. I didn't know. You know, I mentioned it last weekend, and you told me the story about carrying your peach pit all around. I told Cindy that he carries his peach pit around when he was a kid.
When I was a kid growing up, I was in love with certain Pittsburgh Pirates, and they would do that tobacco thing, right? Bill Mazeroski was one. So my peach pit became like...
Oh, I get it.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And we would mix it in sometimes with blackjack gum. I don't know if you remember blackjack gum. And raisins. I know, horrible habit. Don't do it. Don't try that at home. But I love that peach pit. It really, some days, spent the entire summer day with me. But the real reason, the late, great Sonny Janoski, one of the very first years that he had a peach crop, and he said something to me that I've never forgotten. Peaches are great, but they will break your heart.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
Because you just don't know. One frost, you're done.
Well, this is a season where we were talking about before we came on about our favorite, the Chambersburg.
I'm shocked.
Peaches are not going to be available, and the funny thing is about those peaches, it's because of the soil there. That's what makes those peaches so good. And that's gardening. That's.
But let me just, while we're just talking, you got those off of a peach truck, so I will enjoy them over the next couple of days. I love peaches. But the original Farmers Night Market in Bridgeville, which the Janoski family's been going on and off for years, that's a tremendous event. I don't know if you've ever been down there.
No, but any farmer's market, they're just amazing. And no, I haven't been to that one, but they're great. I actually got a message from my friend Steve Rapaski, our friend that knows all about bees, from the Sewickley Farmers Market, where he's trying to hook me up with hopefully a garlic grower for our big garlic festival coming up on August 23rd. And speaking of Janoskis, I've got to say a big thank you to them for providing all this garlic for the garlic festival coming up. So I went out to Janoskis, and oh man, 40 pounds of garlic, the best garlic. And this is all going to be for you to plant. And it's the best garlic. I have been growing it for at least 10 years now. And, well, of course, when I went to Janoski's, I had to buy some stuff. And I got their corn. 6 ears, half dozen is 7 ears. Like, who does that anymore? That is awesome. And so I've got a friend, we refer to him as Corn Boy because he just loves corn more than...
Corn Boy?
He tied in my corn eating contest with 24 ears. Yeah.
And was there a time limit on that?
I think it was 1 hour maybe. No, I can't remember the time limit, but I dropped out at 11.
That's pretty good, though.
Not compared to 24.
And the person that invented the little corn prongs that you use on the end, I see them Janoski's. I know we sell them at Coons Market. I think they're fascinating. Whoever came up with that idea.
And when I worked at the Medina County Gazette, I ran into a guy, and I had never heard of this before. He goes, he is a farmer, and he gave my friend and I each a bag of corn.
Right.
And he said, "Do not boil this corn. It must be roasted." And so whenever I'm doing corn for people, I'm always roasting it and on the grill, and that's the way we love it the best.
Well, we love our pirates, and we're going to talk about them on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. I never realized, but Bob Prince used to say "can of corn" when a guy would catch the ball, and you know what that's from. When people were stocking grocery shelves, and somebody needed a can of corn, a nice little lady, shopping, tell the stock boy, "Would you get that can of corn off the top shelf?" And he would bump it, and it would fall off, and he would catch it. Can of corn.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
All right, let's talk about the Garlic Festival because I have some new stuff that has been added. I'm going to be making honey roasted garlic ice cream with a balsamic swirl.
What in the world?
Yep. I've always dreamed of making garlic ice cream for an event like this, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And so I just happened to look at social media. A guy I worked with 30 years ago at the Youngstown Vindicator. I have not seen him since then. We've talked back and forth on social media, but he's a Jeep fanatic. He uses his Jeep to power this giant ice cream churn. Yes, that makes 2.5 gallons of ice cream. And so I sent him a message. I said, "I've always dreamed of making garlic ice cream, but I want to make it so, it sounds disgusting. I know. I see that look on your face. But
no,
imagine this. Roasted garlic with honey. When you roast garlic, it sweetens up.
Right.
And so we're just going to give it a shot. And another new addition to the Garlic Festival, which I'll tell you where and when and all that in a minute, is Jono and Maria Prasic have donated a bunch of beautiful artwork to be auctioned off there. And so the Garlic Festival is August 23rd from 12 to 3. It's the first ever Pittsburgh Garlic Festival, and it's all in support of the South Hills Interfaith Movement. That's called SHIM. It will be at Flora Park in Bethel Park. That's inside South Park. They also have a beautiful creamery there. That's where I'm going to get that ice cream. I'm going to put it up there in the creamery where people could buy it. And the whole idea is to help SHIM. And so bring your extra garden produce to donate to SHIM. I've also posted a whole list of other items that SHIM needs. It's not just food. And certainly cash donations will be appreciated. And anyone who donates gets a free hose nozzle from Dram. We're going to sell that fresh garlic that Janoski's gave us so you can plant it. I'll be presenting a talk about garlic called Planting Garlic for 7 different harvests. I'll also explain how to avoid this new pest, Allium leaf miner, which is a destructive garlic pest. And as I said, all the proceeds go to SHIM. Besides making that honey roasted garlic, I'm also making the ultimate garlic Alfredo pasta to serve to everybody, and I guarantee you it is going to have so much garlic in it, you're going to love it.
The balsamic thing's what really interests me.
The balsamic glaze on there?
I like that. That's one of my favorites, too.
I'll have to get you a little ice cream. We'll see. Yeah, we'll do a promo. I'll make the ice cream.
If this thing took off? The next thing you know, you'd be seeing your mug on a carton of ice cream in Coons Market. I'm telling you, stranger things have happened.
I like that idea.
I'm telling you, you should listen to me. Have you ever thought about doing some private label stuff? We would consider putting you on the shelves with a little tomato sauce, maybe.
Well, not really, but I had an idea the other day.
And I know a guy can get that done.
When Cindy went to the peach truck, I said, they should have a heirloom tomato truck in May. We bring up southern tomatoes like heirlooms and sell like homegrown tomatoes.
So were you with Hairpiece out on Camp Horn Road? Is that where you guys were?
Yep.
That's a nice place out there.
That was my next thing to talk about, Rob.
Okay.
Recipe for Hope. Thank you, all the fans that came out to support this charity. It's Hairpiece Charities. My friend Bonnie Diver does it, and the event is thriving. It was an amazing event, and a big thank you to my friend Kim. Kim calls the show. She's a great gardener. We've been working together at this charity event called Recipe for Hope for 21 years. We've been working together. And when we come back, I've got a few stories about her. But I would love to hear from you, so give us a call.
866-391-1020. We'll be back.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks beat the Reds 4-1 yesterday. 2 teams again today in Cincinnati. 1:40 first pitch, 93-7 the Fan. Pirates will be out without Ryan O'Hearn. He is out 6 to 8 weeks with a strained quad. And they also picked up a relief pitcher from the Yankees, Camilo Doval. Big story yesterday in baseball. Derek Skubal is headed to Los Angeles to play for the Dodgers. The Steelers announced their 2026 Hall of Fame honor class Saturday. Defensive back J.T. Thomas, offensive lineman and broadcaster Craig Wolfley, and general manager Kevin Colbert will make up the group that will be inducted on September 27th. At Accushore Stadium during a game with the Cincinnati Bengals. Riverhounds defeated Oakland 1-0 last night and through 3 rounds of the Rocket Classic. Davis rallies at 15 under, good for a 1-shot lead. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. Parents, before you buy your student's mattress online, consider this. At OMF, we offer the same convenience, but with major advantages. You can actually try our mattresses before buying, crucial for your student's comfort. You'll know exactly where your mattress comes from, right here in our local factory. By supporting the Original Mattress Factory, you're investing in our community. And here's the kicker. You'll pay less than you would online. Quality sleep, local support, and better prices. OriginalMattress.com.
Parents, do you want to set your student up for success this school year? Start with a good night's sleep on a mattress from the Original Mattress Factory. We've made back-to-school shopping a breeze. Order online and we'll deliver directly to campus. Or swing by our factory and drive away with a mattress today. Either way, you'll get top quality at a factory direct price. Our locally made mattresses are designed to fit dorm rooms and apartment bedrooms alike. A great mattress and quality rest are key to academic success. Visit OMF today and cross quality sleep off your back-to-school list.
The KDKA Radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM at AM 1020.
All right.
KDKA.
It's raining outside, so you're not doing anything in the garden, but you have questions, right? Maybe it'll clear up later today. It's definitely going to clear up later this week. So whatever is on your mind in the way of gardening, you need to call now. All of our lines are open. Gardening questions. The guru, Doug Oster, DougOster.com, is here waiting to hear from you. So call 866-391-1020. Doug.
So I have a few tomato stories from Recipe for Hope. Again, I was talking about my friend Kim. We've worked together at this event for 21 years, but the event was nuts. David Highfield and Heather Abraham were there, who are friends of mine, and Heather was right next to me with Bill Fuller. We both made ravioli. I was like, oh, this is the battle of the ravioli. And this is when you have to. There's a food competition, and I'm looking at Bill Fuller from Big Burrito. We used to work together on PTL on Thursdays. He's actually boiling the ravioli and making the sauce there, like live. I make it all in advance and have it like in a crock pot and have it in big trays in there. But I barely got a chance to say hi to Heather, and I never saw David through the night. He was on the other side of the room, but it was just a great event. And so anyway, Kim and I have been working together for all these years, and last year she brought in this amazing big tomato for me, and she started telling me the story about it and added something to the story this year. And so I think it's her uncle, but this dentist, Dr. Snow in Newcastle, grew this tomato, and I just found out that the original seeds were from a World War I veteran.
Wow.
So I've got the 3945 tomatoes that I give away. Those are World War II. I've got the Snow tomato that I give away, which is World War I. But she never mentioned anything about this tomato before after all these years, and I tasted it. It was amazing. And so I've added that to my Pittsburgh Preservation Project. And this is something we usually do during the winter when people want the seeds. But there's Limbaugh Legacy Potato Top. There's the 3945, which is from World War II. And then there's the Snow Tomato. These are all great Pittsburgh tomatoes that I just give the seeds away for you. Send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. I send you the seeds. And then you grow them out and send me some seeds back. That's all at DougOster.com. With the 3945s, Scott Baker from Jenny Lee Bakery, he came up to her and he goes, "Your 3945s are doing good." And he goes, "I don't know if I told you, but the reason I grow the 3945 is because it was the last 4 digits of my phone number growing up." Oh, I thought that was so cool because everybody has a different reason to do this. And so anyway, congratulations to Bonnie Diver and Recipe for Hope and Hairpiece Charities for doing such great work. And I've got all sorts of ideas from there, too. Met lots of gardeners. And before we get to the phones, I just want to say how we all as gardeners look completely different at the rain than normal people. When I woke up, and I knew rain was coming, but when I woke up and I just looked outside, I was like, oh, yes. The garden is going to explode with a rain like this in July. I've got the last sowing of beans up if the rabbit doesn't get them. I've got some cucumbers really, again, this is the last planting of cucumbers doing their thing. Tomatoes coming in. Way too many hot peppers. That's the other thing I want to talk to you about. What do you do with your hot peppers? Because I need some ideas. I've got so many hot peppers. Rob, do you like hot peppers like peaches?
Not real hot.
Okay.
But I like peppers.
I don't know. These aren't the hottest peppers in the world, but they'll wake you up. I took a bite of just one in the garden, and I was like, whoa, this is hotter than I remember.
If I wrap some bread around it or something, but man, just raw, I don't know.
Okay, you said you like hot peppers, so next week.
Oh, no.
Okay, forget it.
I'll pass on
Never
that.
mind.
All right,
let's get to the phones.
Here we go. It's Diane. She joins us now from Valencia on KDK, one of our regulars on the Coons Cooking Hour, wanting to talk to Doug about basil. Go ahead, Diane. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. Great. And as Doug said, hey, we're all happy to have the rain. That saves our water bills as well as taking extra time. We can let God do his work and nourish all these great plants we have. Yeah, Doug. So I have basil and bought it recently, about a month ago, and, put it in a newer pot. And the other day I noticed there's like some silvery tint to it. The other thing just to throw in, if you have time for it, but the kale is my greatest saga in life. I know you had mentioned before about the coverings, but there's a spray. And then even my flat leaf parsley has like speckles on it. So I really love my basil as my top herb. I do the herbs. My husband does the garden. So that's all I can tell you on that.
So let's start with the basil. Tell me exactly what's going on with the basil.
So the leaves are looking a little wilted. I've been trying to, make sure I water it every day, but it's sort of like the lower leaves. It doesn't quite look as fungusy, but maybe it is a fungus of some sort. But there
has been a thing going around for the last several years. It's an old disease, but it's kind of picked up steam. It's called basil downy mildew, and the leaves get discolored and just kind of fall off. And so keep an eye on it.
Okay.
The thing to know, too, is that nurseries will bring in basil this time of the year, believe it or not, to freshen our gardens up. And so that's an option, too. I want to tell you about a certain type of basil if you love basil. And, and it's called Everleaf Emerald Towers. And it's resistant to the disease. And it grows like as a column. That's where the towers comes from. And I am, again, you can't have enough basil. And I've got more basil you could possibly imagine. I've planted it everywhere. And this stuff looks great. And so I think for next season, think about a disease-resistant variety. I do know that Hahn Nursery still has a bunch of basil, and it's we're in bargain season. And so that's something to think about. Now the kale is getting eaten by the cabbage worms. Is that what is happening?
Yeah, I've caught a couple of them, but
you can't keep up with them. So at this point, the spray is called Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew, and it's safe for you. It's safe for pets. It's safe for the good bugs, and it's safe for anybody who lives downstream. And what we do is you spray it on the kale. The bug eats it. It affects its nervous system, and then it stops feeding, and it's done. And it's a safe way to deal with the pest. You'll never keep up with those cabbage worms. We always say cover it with a floating row cover when you plant it right off the bat. But, not everybody can do that, and not everybody wants to do that. And so now, hand picking certainly is an option. But you're going to be out there every day doing it. You'll see that that little white butterfly that is floating around in your garden, that's the thing that is laying the eggs. And kale and cabbage and broccoli and collards, these are all host plants for that butterfly. Just like milkweed is host plant for the monarch, this is a host plant for that pest. So we need to deal with it. Keep your hand picking up, but get some of that spray. That's going to help. And real quick on the parsley, I'm going to need to see a picture of that. So if you could just go to DougOster.com. You can't send a picture through there, but just send me an email and saying, hey, I want to send you the picture of that parsley. Send me the picture of the parsley, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll be able to diagnose what the problem is. And thank you very much for your call. I appreciate it. And
thank you, guys.
Enjoy this rain. I feel bad for anybody who's like in a low-lying area or prone to floods when I'm talking about rain. But for us and the gardeners in the high country, we are so relieved to get rain like this. And like you said, the water bill.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks again for your call. Good to talk to you.
All right. We have got Cindy and Irwin, Pete and Kraft, and we'd love to hear from you. Wall-to-wall phone calls. We got a couple of available phone lines, 866-391-1020. Stay with us. We've got Rob Taylor with the news 3 minutes away at 7:30. Your Pratt Pack KDKA.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, you need the best team on your side. Priority Tax Relief has helped thousands of Americans resolve their IRS problems and settle for pennies on the dollar. As a leading tax resolution firm, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, hundreds of 5-star reviews, and a 4.9-star rating on Google because we deliver results and huge savings. If you owe $5,000 or more and even facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or IRS letters, call us today at 800-470-3405. Once you call, our tax professionals will call the IRS with you for free, and within minutes, start negotiating a settlement. We'll put a stop to collections and fight to get you the best settlement possible. Choose the company Americans trust most. Call Priority Tax Relief now at 800-470-3405 to see what relief you qualify for. Don't wait. Make the call. Dial 800-470-3405. Once again, that's 800-470-3405.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 72 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 7:30. I'm Rob Taylor. This weather update, our entire area in western Pennsylvania is under a flood watch until midnight. It goes from 10 a.m. until midnight tonight. We'll have the complete AccuWeather forecast coming up in just a few moments. A bicyclist and vehicle collided at North Park on Saturday, sending that bicyclist to the hospital in critical condition. This crash happened around 12:30 Saturday afternoon near the North Park Boathouse on Pierce Mill Road. A preliminary investigation found that the vehicle struck the bicyclist while turning into the boathouse entranceway. A motorcyclist died following a crash in Westmoreland County. 24-year-old Riley Hillegas, authorities said, was riding his motorcycle on Bauman Hobble Road, that's in Hempfield Township. This happened late Friday night when he lost control and struck a guardrail. Hillegas later died at the hospital. That crash is under investigation. 3 people died, including the suspected shooter in a shooting near a fast food restaurant in Idaho. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Multiple police agencies responding to a shooting at an In-N-Out in Idaho.
Any available units if you can start heading towards In-N-Out for an active shooter.
Terrifying video showing a man standing in the drive-thru at this Twin Falls In-N-Out, pointing a gun and firing. Families in that parking lot running for their lives. Cars speeding away, running over a traffic cone.
What's happening? Shoot. Go. Just go.
First responders on the scene closing roads, telling people in the area to stay away.
Allegheny County Police still investigating a shooting in McKeesport. A man was found shot multiple times early Saturday morning around 1 o'clock Saturday morning on Jenny Lynn Street between Spring and Olive Streets. That man was taken to the hospital in stable condition. KDK Radio News Time, it's 7:32. The AccuWeather forecast is coming up.
What do you want to do this week? Why not put Sorgles on your list? What? You've never been to Sorgles? Just come once and you'll be hooked. Hi, this is Randy from Sorgles. As a family-run business with lots of family on the floor, we have so much to share with you. And here's the list. The Greenhouse and Garden Center, Home Accents and Home Decor, Houseplants and Supplies, the Bakery and Deli, new baby apparel, we are told that's the best in the Pittsburgh area, Fresh Fruit Market with an abundance of our own farm produce, the wine shop from Arrowhead Winery, hand-dipped ice cream, cider slushies, candy and stacks, Arsenal Cider's tasting room, the gift barn with 3 floors of gifts and children's toys, the farm goats, oh, they're so comical, Naturally Sorgles, over 2,000 gluten-free items, the sloughs for the kids, tiny town play area, and we have fresh pop kettle corn all the time. And don't be afraid of the parking and traffic at this time of the year. It's all doable. Sorgles, 724-935-2090.
O'Reilly Auto Parts gets you back to savings. Pick up select Royal Purple fuel system additives. Buy one, get one free. Plus receive 4 times O-Rewards points.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Watch for rain at times and perhaps a gusty thunderstorm, the high 78, with any evening thunderstorms tonight giving way to just a shower or two later and a low of 67. Even a morning thunderstorm for tomorrow before some sun returns, the high 80, with just sunshine and some clouds. For a dry Tuesday, the high 83. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us on the Big K Morning Show Monday, 5:30 until 10. New month, new attitude, and a lot going on. We'll fill you in.
All right, if you are the 10th caller, you win a $25 gift certificate to Janoski's in Clinton, and that number is 412-922-1020. Tell them about the garlic, tell them about Janoski's, then we'll go back to the phones.
Well, I forgot to mention that when I bought that corn, again, 7 ears for half a dozen. That's awesome. But it was the best corn I've had all year, and we love corn. You should have saw Rob dancing to that rejoining music. It was awesome.
Yeah, right.
But it was the best corn. And as I said, boy, roasted is the way to go. And then just a reminder, I hope you'll come out for the Garlic Festival on August 23rd. We're going to have so much fun. It's going to be garlic, garlic, garlic. I got my daughter always dresses up as a tomato for most of my events, but she's going to dress up. I think it's going to be delivered today or tomorrow, garlic outfits that she's going to wear. We're going to have so much fun. And again, it's for a good cause. It's helping the South Hills Interfaith Ministry, and they help all sorts of people. They have these big gardens where they make produce. They have these big community gardens that people can use. They help their neighbors. That's the idea. And so we're going to help them by putting this festival together. All right. Is there anybody on the phone? Did we drop a caller? Oh, my.
We lost Pete in Crafton, so feel free to call
back. Sorry, Pete. But, yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And, Cindy, if you could call back, it would be great. I cannot resist the bargains. As you know, I am really cheap. And so when I went to the nursery, I could not believe the bargains. And I know it seems late in the season. It's August 2nd. But I'm telling you, 99-cent petunias in 3-inch pots, and I can just plug them right into these pots that need a little bit of help. I bought some coleus and stuck them into this either side of these containers where my wife normally sits, and she's like, when we were doing the corn, she's like, "Man, I'm telling you, those things really grew quick." I said, "Those weren't in there. I just put those in. I bought those on sale," and so I got. Again, my trick for the lilies is they're selling them right now for nothing. It was $3 for a lily that has a full root system. Yes, I'm waiting till next year to see the blooms, but when you do this every year, it's no big deal. Every year you get new lilies, and instead of just buying a bulb, I'm getting that root mass, and so I got those. The funny thing is, I got $6 big perennial salvias. Salvia is my #1 deer-resistant plant for the garden, and so I got these 2, and they were $6 a piece. Why I bought them, I don't know. I started perennial salvia from seed, and I've got like 8 plants sitting out in the garden, but I had to buy these 2. I'm trying to experiment with the perennial salvias and see if they'll overwinter in a container. And that container is right out in Deer Central. And so that's what I like to do. When you go shopping, and I talk about this all the time, at a nursery, take your time. You can't go with somebody that's in a hurry. Because I wouldn't have found these bargains if I didn't really poke around. As soon as I walked in, my friend, this is a nursery, my friend says, "Hey, I got half off perennials here." There's no when I walk through the door that I'm looking for a bargain. But take your time and poke around and look for the TLC stuff. Some stuff was still priced. It was on sale, but not cheap enough for me to get. But a lot of the stuff, it was really discounted. All right, I think we got a caller, Rob.
Yes, we do have a caller. And
Peter's coming on too, but Beth is on there.
All right, here's Beth in Hampton on the Organic Gardener Show with Doug Oster. How are you, Beth?
Hello. Very good. Hello, Doug. Thank you very much. I wanted to call because myself and my aunt as well are having some problems with our green peppers. I have several small garden plots, and only in one of the plots, the green peppers that I planted they seem to be dropping leaves. The leaves are turning almost a rust color.
What's the soil like? I mean, is it good quality soil with compost added, or is it struggling? Is it clay? Explain what.
There may be some clay. There may be some clay in the soil. I put some fertilizer in. I could have had some compost.
Yeah, it sounds like nutrient deficiency. Again, Beth, I'd love to see a picture of them, and I could do a much better job at diagnosing if I could see the picture. And if you go to DougOster.com and send me an email, then I'll send you one back, and you can send me a picture. But I would, right now, for what you need to do now, continue your fertilization. Use the guidelines on the fertilizer. If you put too much on, depending what you're using, you could negatively affect the plant, and the plant can only uptake so much fertilizer. So I don't want you to waste it. If you're thinking, gosh, it says use, I don't know, half a cup, but I want more. I'm going to use a cup. Well, a half of that cup you've wasted. And so follow the directions. I would fertilize, and I would also, to tell you the truth, I would get a liquid fertilizer if you could. I love a liquid concentrate fertilizer to give an instant boost. Granular is fine for the long term, but a liquid fertilizer right off the bat, and then maybe mulch with some compost. Mulch never touches the bottom of the plant. And Beth, do me a favor, if you think about it, send me a picture, and I can really take a close look at it. Okay?
All right. And just quickly, my aunt's green peppers, she has them in a row, and the plants, some of them just started to wilt, even with small peppers on them, and then die. And she wasn't certain what was happening there.
They're wilting and dying, or they're just wilting?
Wilting and dying.
Oh, boy, that could be a lot of different things. As long as they're getting the water they need and they have a good fertilizer, there's not much really that can kill a pepper like that. Again, I would want to see like a picture of the garden to see what the soil looks like. It's probably an issue. I'm just guessing with the soil. Reach out to me and we'll do a deep dive on this. Okay, Beth?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. All right, Peter's back, so we need to talk to him.
All right, here's Pete in Crafton. Hey, Pete, you're on KDKA.
Good morning, gentlemen. Doug, where can I buy the crocus bulbs so that I may grow some crocus flowers and for saffron?
Okay, right.
And I don't need much, maybe 15, 20 bulbs, and that's about it. I understand they grow back every year. So,
one of my favorite bulb sources is called Brent and Becky's Bulbs. They're in Gloucester, Virginia. He taught me that you really need to have a good source for bulbs. That's important. And he was like, he taught me, like, some places never run out of a bulb. I said, well, isn't that a good thing? He goes, no, they run out, but they just ship something else. So Brent and Becky's is a good thing. You might be in the fall. I would search locally first and, tell them what you're looking for. You want to grow saffron. But once you get those bulbs going, the downside is going to be the pests like them. And so one thing that I always tell people when you plant your crocus bulbs or tulip bulbs, soak them in a repellent. Now, the repellent that I use, the deer repellent I use, is called Bobex. It stinks. And I soak those bulbs for just 10 minutes in it in a little plastic thing, and then I plant them. And at least keeps them safe for a couple seasons. The underground pests don't like them. The other thing is when they do pop up, deer and rabbits will eat them too. So just be aware of that. But Brent and Becky's, John Sheepers.
How about a small greenhouse? To plant them in little containers, Will that'll keep the pests away? Maybe
that's doable. It's actually not a greenhouse that you would want to do it in. You would want to do it more more like a garage. You don't want that that to heat up. You want it to stay cold the entire winter. So what you could do, and this is how we do it. This is a great question, Pete. You put a container together with some good planting mix, but you don't want it to be too wet. It has to have moisture in it, but it can't be dripping wet. It'll rot the bulbs. This is the trick. When you put just a moderately moist mix in that pot, and if it was me, I would have like 3 things in there. I would have your crocuses on top. Well, we do this in reverse. We'd plant the tulips at the bottom. Then above them would be the daffodils, and then on the top would be the crocuses. I know you only want the crocuses, but if you're going to be doing this, if you're going to be spending the time to do this with a big container of bulbs, you'll get your crocuses, you'll get your saffron. You might become a millionaire by selling that saffron. This stuff's expensive. What are you going to use all that saffron for anyway, Pete?
Oh, soups, gravies, risotto, rice.
Wow.
You don't need a whole lot. I figure, a couple seasons I'll have maybe 30, 40 stems, and you only need about 4 or 5 if you're going to cook some rice or risotto for 2, But soups and sauces and gravies.
That's awesome.
Some people just take it and put it on their tongue.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's good stuff. So, well, good luck with that fall planting. We do that in September and October.
All right, coming back. One more segment with Doug. We've got some folks waiting in the wings. We'll get to you next on KDKA.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
There is so much good happening at Janoski's, and they're there every day beginning at 8 a.m., which is just minutes away. But here is something you definitely want to get to Janoski's and get involved with today. Their garden center sale, 30% off all trees, shrubs, and roses. Garden center open daily, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sale prices valid only while supplies last. It's the Garden and Greenhouse Center sale at Janoski's. Listen to this. 30% off all trees, shrubs, and roses. Janoski's in Clinton.
At Lenseek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lenseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks beat the Reds 4-1 yesterday. 2 teams again today in Cincinnati. 1:40 first pitch, 93-7 the Fan. Pirates will be out without Ryan O'Hearn. He is out 6 to 8 weeks with a strained quad. And they also picked up a relief pitcher from the Yankees, Camilo Doval. Big story yesterday in baseball. Derek Skubal is headed to Los Angeles to play for the Dodgers. The Steelers announced their 2026 Hall of Fame honor class Saturday. Defensive back J.T. Thomas, offensive lineman and broadcaster Craig Wolfley, and general manager Kevin Colbert will make up the group that will be inducted on September 27th. At Accushore Stadium during a game with the Cincinnati Bengals. Riverhounds defeated Oakland 1-0 last night and through 3 rounds of the Rocket Classic. Davis rallies at 15 under, good for a 1-shot lead. More sports, 937thefan.com.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life.
Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Right back to the phones we go. Here's Tom in the North Hills. Hey, Tom, you're on KDK. What's going on?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I planted some pawpaw seeds, and finally one of them I noticed just the other day is growing. It was kind of surrounded by weeds. I kind of gave up on it. And it's probably around 6 inches or so high. And I planted the seeds in a location where that was the only location I could use because everything else was covered, being used. Mm-hmm. It's not the best location, not exactly where I want it, but it'll do. So I'm wondering am I better off just leaving it there or trying to transplant it maybe in the fall when the weather gets cooler?
They'd hate to be transplanted. I'll tell you that right now. You're also, Tom, eventually you're going to need 2 trees to make fruit.
Right. Well, I don't really care so much about getting the pawpaw as much as saying I have a pawpaw tree.
Come on, dude. You got to get your pawpaws. You're going to spend the time planting that tree. I know the feeling, though, because I was actually in the woods the other day in between property lines. I told you I got way too many hot peppers, and I saw my neighbor cutting the grass, and I whistled over. I'm like, hey, brother, I got some hot peppers for you. And as I was walking over there, I had done the same thing. I just threw some pawpaw seeds in the woods. Yeah. And I've got 3 trees there.
Right.
So
I think I was going to say the hot pepper is another reason for making sure you lock your car.
So anyway, with the pawpaw, the best time to move it is in the late winter before it leaves out. If it's only if it's only 6 inches tall now, it's probably young enough where you could get enough of the root zone,
right,
and move it.
Right.
The other way of thinking would be when it goes dormant in the fall, you could probably move it to, they can grow just about anywhere, just so you know. Right. They don't mind. And there is a pawpaw festival coming up that Tree Pittsburgh is hosting at their location in Lawrenceville. And I will be talking about that in the future. I'm having them on the radio show to talk about it because they had a pawpaw festival years ago. And, Tom, you have to come, and that's going to convince you after you taste those pawpaws in September that you've got to have another tree, and you've got to have some pawpaws. Come on now.
Right. Okay. Well, I planted other seeds last year. Nothing's come up so far.
Sometimes it takes 2-3 years for those seeds to come up. That's the trick. Where did you get the seeds?
A friend of mine has pawpaw trees, and she gave them. I don't know if you know Meg from the North Park. She's a naturalist.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
She retired now, but she has pawpaw trees out where she lives off of Babcock, and I guess it's Pine Township.
Okay.
So she always brings them in I don't know what, August, September, or something like that.
Yeah, September they're ready.
Right.
All right, Tom.
Okay.
Between the two of us, we're going to convince you to put another tree in. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, listen, before we say goodbye, I got to ask you one quick question. Why do you think these pick your own events have become so popular. Janoski's going to have one August 22nd and 23rd, in which you can get there, mix and match veggies, cut flowers. Why do you think those work so well?
Because you save a lot of money and it's fun to do. We used to pick our own apples back in the day. Do we have time for Charlotte?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
But it's, oh, by the way, a large selection of homegrown jalapenos. So do you like jalapenos?
Jalapenos, see. Yeah, they are great. But the peppers I'm talking about.
Like knock your socks off?
Yeah, compared to a jalapeno.
All right, here's Charlotte, South Park. Hey, Charlotte, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I really wanted to ask about your garlic event. It's going to be in the Florida, as in the state of Florida?
No, it's going to be in a place. It's going to be a place in the South Hills called Flora Park.
And how do you spell that? Flora?
Yep, Park, and it's in South Park. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
It's on Corrigan Boulevard. If you go to DougOster.com, I've got a nice little graphic there that tells you exactly where it's at and what we're doing. And I want you to come.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to also, where's the creamery you keep mentioning?
It's right there.
that in the past.
It's right there at that Flora Park, and it's the best ice cream you've ever had in your life. I guarantee it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll see you at the Garlic Festival, okay?
And speaking of the Garlic Festival, he got his garlic from Janoski's, and here's what he's going to be doing.
We are going to have so much fun there. It's August 23rd. It's a Sunday, 12 to 3. Place is called Flora Park. It is a very cool nursery and creamery. And that creamery, whenever I'm down in South Park, I'm not supposed to be eating ice cream. I'm big enough as it is. But I can't resist. I can't resist. I was down there to do a video for a show last year, and myself and my buddy Cornboy, him and I worked together on that show, producing, and he was shooting it and editing it. And we sat there and had that ice cream. It was great. And I'm going to be serving a honey roasted garlic ice cream at this event with a balsamic swirl. Rob likes the balsamic.
I do.
And so it's just a celebration of garlic is what it's going to be. And I'm making a pasta dish, a garlic pasta dish that's going to, as the people last 2 nights ago at Recipe for Hope, when I made this garlic ravioli in a cream spinach sauce, the people who really loved it were just said you can't have too much garlic. Other people looked at it, I warned them ahead of time. I'm like, I always ask before they take some, do you like garlic? And they'll be like, yeah. And I said, get ready. Because I used 100 cloves. 50 of it was roasted, and 50 of it was just put in a food processor and then cooked down with a little bit of cream and what was it? Just like a base. I'm trying to think of the word. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But
a base.
No, it's not base. It's like I can't remember. My brain doesn't work anymore. And Rob, this week I start my Social Security.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Congratulations.
Yes, I made it.
That means you can buy more plants.
That's right. Exactly.
Here comes that guy.
On sale. Everything's on sale. I cannot resist the bargains. Well, back to the Garlic Festival. I hope you'll come. And again, it's all to help the South Hills Interfaith Ministry. They help people in so many different ways, and that's a fun thing to do. That's just like being part of Recipe for Hope for all these years. I am just a very, very, very small part of it. Anything I can do to help Bonnie was the same thing for Shim. A friend of mine works for Shim. I know the work that they're doing. They're providing not just food for people, but all sorts of personal items too. It's all at DougOster.com. You can see what I'm doing there and where I'm going. I basically have one seat left for my trip to see the Christmas markets in France, Germany, and Switzerland. Remember, organic gardeners, you make our world brighter and safer with each seed you sow and every garden you grow.
There you go. Stay tuned. We're talking tomatoes next hour on the Coons Cooking Hour on KDKA.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And when I went to go back down to the lobby area, the door opened and there was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I stopped and I said, "Looks like you guys are busy. Go ahead." He goes, "Get in." And then Bruno tells Arnold, "I hope I didn't frighten your little friend." I feel like sometimes I'm leading a Forrest Gump type life.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. All it takes is a little preparation. Get to the airport early, bring a carry-on bag that fits in the overhead, and have an acceptable ID. Not all state-issued IDs will cut it. Check out tsa.gov/ID and see which TSA acceptable IDs make the grade, like a real ID or passport.
Before you jet, do a little prep, and you're good to go. Check out tsa.gov/ID or the MyTSA app.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 72 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Our region is under a flood watch until midnight tonight due to the rain and thunderstorms moving into our area this morning and into the afternoon. We've got the complete AccuWeather forecast coming up in about 5 minutes. President Trump said late Saturday on social media that he's holding off on new strikes against Iran to allow for negotiations to continue after Tehran warned they would retaliate from any attack from the U.S. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers.
Iran has already threatened to retaliate against strikes on its energy sites by hitting Israeli targets and U.S. energy infrastructure in the Middle East, according to Iranian state media. A spokesman for Kuwait's Ministry of Defense says its air defenses intercepted Iranian drones inside Kuwaiti airspace. Meanwhile, the U.S. has been pressing for the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz.
A motorcyclist died following a crash in Westmoreland County. 24-year-old Riley Hillegas, authorities said, was riding his motorcycle on Bauman Hollow Road in Hempfield Township late Friday night when he lost control and struck a guardrail. Hillegas later died at the hospital. That crash is under investigation. Allegheny County Police continue to investigate after a man was found shot multiple times early Saturday morning in McKeesport. Shooting happened around 1 o'clock Saturday morning on Jenny Lynn Street. That's between Spring and Olive Streets. The man was taken to the hospital in stable condition. A cyclist and vehicle collided at North Park, sending that cyclist to the hospital in critical condition. Crash happened around 12:30 Saturday afternoon near the North Park Boathouse on Pierce Mill Road. Preliminary investigation found that the vehicle struck the cyclist while turning into the boathouse entranceway. KDK Radio News Time, it's 8:02. Let's get to that AccuWeather forecast. And as mentioned, we are under a flood watch until midnight tonight for our area. The AccuWeather forecast next.
So, at Monroeville Physical, spelled F-Y-Z-I-C-A-L, they help people move with less pain and more confidence. I've seen it. In fact, Physical has helped Pittsburgh get back on its feet with confidence through personalized one-to-one physical therapy and advanced balance treatment. It's amazing. The therapists use leading technology and customized care plans focus on balance, neuropathy, and pain relief. You get back to doing the things you love safely and confidently. Call Monroeville Physical, 412-457-8200. 412-457-8200.
In Pittsburgh, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 25 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Pittsburgh. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Plumbers, today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 National Premium Data.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a humid day with rain and a thunderstorm. Any thunderstorm may be rather gusty with a high of 78. Then an evening thunderstorm gives way to just a shower or two late tonight with a low of 67, followed by another humid day tomorrow with a morning thunderstorm, then some afternoon sun, high 80, leading to a dry Tuesday with some sun, high 83. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. This is the Coons Cooking Hour. The crew from Coons Market are here. It's the great food you grew up with and the recipes that make Pittsburgh someplace special.
We're going to do tomatoes. It's all about that delicious treat, that vegetable. So give us a call. All the different things in a scrambled egg, a slice or two on a sandwich, on your salad, in your tacos. It's time to talk tomatoes. I want you to amaze me. Give me a call, 866-391-1020. And by the way, some lucky listener who calls in with a tomato recipe will get a $25 gift card from Coons Market, which will buy you a lot of delicious, plump, juicy, ripe tomatoes at one of our 8 locally owned and independently operated grocery stores. 866-391-1020. So call now, early, often. Tomatoes ripe on the vine, ready to talk to you about your favorite recipe. So the tomato, Frank Dentisi, is as versatile as it gets. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, with everyone, a lot of tomatoes out there in the gardens, and people are always looking for ways to use them up. I don't know why we plant way more than we need. You can only give away so many. What do I do with the rest of these? People do a lot of canning still, especially the way the economy's been. And, you save the extra money. The economy doesn't even have to be bad to do that kind of stuff. Save the extra money, then you don't have to worry about where the economy is. But, as versatile as just, I remember growing up as a side dish for one of our dinners would always be just a slice of tomato or 2 slices, salt, pepper, oregano on that slice of tomato. And it was done. No cooking, no anything.
Really?
A nice sized tomato.
Beefy tomato.
Yeah, you get those nice sized ones. These are the best ones when you get these home grown. They're right out of the fields. They're ready to eat. Then, after we're all done up here north, it goes into more of the hydroponic places, the greenhouses, and up into Canada is where a lot of the tomatoes will come from after that, before they start coming out of the west again.
Listen, when I think tomatoes, I think of my father and 2 slices of Town Talk bread, a little Land O'Lakes butter, salt and pepper to taste, and a tomato sandwich. And if he really wanted to make it gourmet, he would toast the bread Tomatoes really are so versatile, and I do remember him in the garden with a salt shaker after work, no shirt, Wrangler jeans, basically ripping them off the vine, rinsing them down with the garden hose, and splashing some salt and eating them like an apple.
I bet he didn't rinse them off with the garden.
He didn't. I just said that.
He wiped them on your pants.
Yeah, I didn't want, because I don't want anybody to get sick out there. See, because I'll be honest with you. There's nothing better than a tomato. Honestly, and I think everybody that's listening to me, it is one of my passions, and it's versatile. And the little cherry tomatoes, I could eat like gumdrops. I absolutely love them.
They're good. They're sweet as sugar, you know. And, you know, with tomato, I mean, all the different things you do with the tomatoes, you know, you have some extra time in the kitchen. Hey, it's a rainy day. You know, you have tomatoes that you just pull out of the garden. It's a rainy day. Why not make some fresh pasta sauce? Want to take those tomatoes, you can either boil them in hot water for 30 seconds, gets that skin off, you know, and then you can dice them up, or you can actually put them on use a grater where you just grate them on the cheese, on like a regular cheese grater to get them cut up, and then what's left is just the skin. What you're trying to do is get rid of that skin and get that off, or you know, you cut them in half first and you can always scoop out some of the seeds if you don't want so many seeds. You know, but make some nice fresh pasta sauce and then taste the difference. The difference is amazing, you know, from using a fresh tomato, especially that you grew, and now it's sitting on pasta, where you went one step beyond making what we call scratch, you know, pasta sauce, and we're using canned tomatoes. You went one step further and grew it yourself and make that sauce and make a bunch and put it in the freezer. It'll be like summer still going on right in December and January when you pull that out of the freezer.
So tomatoes are another thing pretty much year round, and people say, what makes a good tomato? So let me ask you a question. What makes a good tomato? What do you look for when you're choosing your tomatoes? I've always liked the ones on the vine. That's my favorite. You know, you get a bag or pound or two of those.
The cluster tomatoes.
Yeah. That's my favorite, and I don't know why, but they are.
They're good. They're good, and you can tell right away from the color of that vine itself and how easy it is to pull off, how fresh it actually is. Those are mostly a greenhouse grown. What makes them, you don't want one that's too soft, but you don't want it too firm either. The color, so it's got that nice deep red color, but it still has firmness to it where you can squeeze it, you know, more like a softball. And so instead of, you know, you don't want it to be too soft, because then this mushy inside, it's going to break down fast. And it's already getting to that overripe stage. You know, look for any bruising on it, any of that when you're picking it out. And again, you know, depending on what you want, you know, I like the Italian plum tomatoes. Ooh. Personally, I like those. They just got a nice, different flavor. I call it a richer flavor to it. But again, it can be as hard or as simple as you desire. Just do some tomatoes. Anytime I think of tomatoes and people growing in their garden, I always go back to the story with my dad, where my nana would make her own tomato paste, where she would actually put the tomatoes were basically ground up and put on boards outside, you know,
right,
and they would be sun dried, you know, and then they would always remind when you picked up the contadina tomato paste, you would see on it, you know, sun dried tomatoes. You know, they were dried out and they were basically baked in the sun that way.
Right.
But it brings out that natural sweetness, cooks out that water, you know, and she'd put them out there. But he would always run by and steal a little on his finger, you know, and take some of the tomato paste. I always remember those stories. But, you know, those family stories, those times you can't go back to, but they're in your memory of, you know, just basically a family and the little shenanigans that we always got ourselves into, especially boys. I don't think the girls got as much shenanigans.
Trust me,
as
my
boys.
5 sisters were tomboys. They were always getting into trouble, and I loved.
They were just setting you up to get in trouble.
I loved every minute of it. Listen, the other thing too, when you think of tomatoes, you can't help but it all comes from tomatoes. You think of spaghetti sauce, but where would we be without tomato soup? I mean,
oh, I know. Tomato soup's delicious. And add a little bit of cream. Now you got that.
We used to put my cousins used to always put a splash of milk, you know, or the mother would make it, you know, by instead of putting a can of water, that soup can of water would do a can of milk. I've always loved just tomato soup, salt and pepper, and Ritz crackers or saltine crackers. Love it, love it, love it.
So between the Campbell's tomato soup and the famous Heinz ketchup,
Yeah.
It would be a whole different world.
I mean,
what would you do with your grilled cheese? You can't dip that in clam chowder.
You know, that's one thing I've never done is, have you ever had a grilled cheese with a slice of tomato on it? Oh, my
Yeah, I've had that. It's delicious.
It is. But I've never dipped the grilled cheese into the soup because I never wanted the crumbs to get into my soup.
Well, that's just you.
I know. A lot of things that are just me. But I will tell
I
you,
loaded up with so much saltines crumbled inside of it.
See, that's another thing.
It doesn't matter about the crumbs from the
But that's
cheese.
another thing. When I was younger, fistful, crunch, drop them in like raindrops. Later in life, Land O'Lakes on the cracker, maybe dip that slightly, but I didn't want anything in the soup. I'm telling you, tomato soup, if you just add the right salt and pepper to taste, and think about it, it's just water on the stove, it really fills you up, and it's got flavor that really is delicious.
Yeah, and you can buy the low-sodium varieties in a can where it's not so, if you're watching how much sodium, and we all have too much sodium that we eat, just being honest.
Right.
And just watching that, making sure you're not, at least not,
overdoing
it, And you can always add more pepper or more other spices, We put a little bit of oregano in it, I do, just because it adds that flavor. Maybe that's me just growing up, but everything was salt, pepper, oregano, salt, pepper, and oregano.
Tomato, basil, wheat thins, tomato, basil, pita bread. I could eat tomatoes every day. I love them.
Well, BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato. Nice toasted. Even today I do a sourdough. So that nice toasted sourdough. Iceberg lettuce,
As a kid growing up, what I remember the most about this time of year in tomatoes, there were always 4 or 5, all sizes, shapes, makes, model on the windowsill that we were trying to ripen up. I mean, always. There was always 3.
And why bother? You can just have them green, fry them up, green tomatoes. You just batter them like you would a pork chop.
They don't taste any different when they're green, do they?
They are different. They're going to have a much firmer texture. They're not going to have the same flavor, But where you're adding the flavor is the breadcrumbs and the egg wash that you're dipping in, and just frying them on the on the cooktop real fast. It makes a nice side dish.
But now listen, when I'm at Janoski, Sonny Janoski, back in the day, teaching me about tomatoes, your father talking about produce, his days growing up, produce yards, your sister Jody, you, the guy who knows all this stuff. One thing I don't remember in any of my travels or growing up or being around tomatoes, when all of a sudden did we start getting these big, meaty, beefy tomatoes? I don't ever remember them baseball size, not softball size. When did all that start? Or were they just always there, but consumers didn't buy them?
They're always there. They're seasonal. I always remember, because I worked in produce from the age of 15 to about 18, worked in the produce department at Old McKnight store. And just, there was those ones that came in from the Midwest. Arkansas is where they're really known for, and people would wait for them. They were those nice, nice sized tomatoes. They were just big, almost like those, your little side dish for salad. That's how big those were. And people would actually wait for them to come in because that was their season. And that's where I always saw them. And then when we always got the homegrown ones. We call them homegrown, but they were from the farmer, from the local growers.
Right.
And we would get those, remember, in the chip basket, the little baskets with the handle. We would just sell them by the basket.
Love them.
And that's how you'd get some. Those ones were all mixed, small and big, because they had to get rid of the small ones, so they would put them in with the big ones to fill that up.
All right, we're feeling the summer vibe. It's all about tomatoes. Let's get going. We've got Cindy and Allison Park, Chuck and Shaler. I want to hear from you. Tomatoes. What do you use tomatoes for and in that recipe? And some lucky listener is going to get a $25 gift certificate. 866-391-1020. And still to come on the big broadcast today, Troy Lampenfelt will be here, Greater Pitt Tree Service, next hour. We're going to be talking oak and elm pruning, as well as oak wilt and Dutch elm disease. So you're going to have a chance to call in and talk to an incredibly talented young man with his roots here in Pittsburgh, part of that Pittsburgh brand that is Greater Pitt Tree Service, Troy Lampenfeld. Stay with us Sunday morning. Your Pratt Pack, KDKA.
Now more than ever, we're the station you can trust for the information you need. KDKA.
For all station contest rules, go to kdkaradio.com/rules.
This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. Parents, before you buy your student's mattress online, consider this. At OMF, we offer the same convenience, but with major advantages. You can actually try our mattresses before buying, crucial for your student's comfort. You'll know exactly where your mattress comes from, right here in our local factory. By supporting the Original Mattress Factory, you're investing in our community. And here's the kicker. You'll pay less than you would online. Quality sleep, local support, and better prices. OriginalMattress.com.
Having trouble keeping up with your electric bill? Duquesne Light Company can help customers manage costs through their Customer Assistance Program. Flexible payment plans, budget billing, rebates, and more. Duquesne Light realizes these are difficult times, and they are all committed to supporting our communities. Discover how you can save money and stay comfortable in your home year-round by visiting DuquesneLight.com/assistance. That's DuquesneLight.com/assistance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this late-night ad to make you more alert, which could help your driving. And science tells us that pulsing beats faster, stimulating audio like traveling sound, and voices on the higher,
so-called brighter end of the audio spectrum like this can encourage focus.
Also, a familiar tune can help, so...
Liberty, 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 liberty. The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, let's get going. Here's Cindy and Allison Park up first. We're talking tomatoes today on the Coons Cooking Hour on KDKA. Hello, Cindy. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen, and happy Sunday to you.
Thank you.
My recipe is called Jan's Good Tomato Recipe, and I found it in a book. It was originally submitted by a lady by the name of Jan Hurley from Garfield. So the ingredients is a 1 6-ounce package of garlic and cheese croutons, 2 large tomatoes sliced a 1/4 inch thick, and we'll put sometimes these old German in there. They're yellow tomatoes, and then a big beefsteak, and so that you alternate with different colors. It looks real pretty. A 1/2 pound of mozzarella cheese sliced, and 4 tablespoons of red wine vinegar salad dressing, and a 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil. So what you do is you line the bottom of a 9-inch pie pan or quiche pan with the single layer of the croutons. You alternate the tomato slices with mozzarella slices on top of the croutons. Sprinkle with the salad dressing and then the basil. And you heat in the microwave oven for 5 to 8 minutes and until the cheese is melted, and voila, and you're good to go.
That sounds excellent.
Easy.
Pretty easy to do.
Yeah, it's been in our family we've passed it around in the family quite a while, and we always make this time of year when the tomatoes come in.
Yeah, like it does. It uses up the tomatoes, but it gives you a great healthy recipe as well.
Good stuff, Cindy. Thank you very much.
All right. Enjoy the day.
All right. You too. Bye-bye. 866-391-1020. You know what else I like? You know how you have an open face, but you open the tomato kind of like a petal on a flower? Mm-hmm. And you either put cottage cheese or tuna salad or chicken salad inside that.
Oh, yeah. Stuffed tomato.
Man.
My mom would make them every now and then. The same breadcrumb stuffing she would use for artichokes.
Oh.
She'd put that inside the tomato and just bake it. And you got this nice, delicious tomato just melts in your mouth like that.
Well, slices of tomato with mozzarella and various cheeses and crackers and green peppers and, olives. I mean, a little charcuterie board. You can do so much with tomatoes.
Well, Doug was talking about hot peppers. What do I do with all these hot peppers? And all it is just, just rough cut all the hot peppers, or even to strips. You can leave the seeds if you want it to be really hot. And then some onions,
right?
Cut up again. I'd do a more rough cut. And then your tomatoes, tomato sauce. If you want to just get the canned tomato sauce, or if you want to use fresh tomatoes and just dice them up, you can cook those off just in a quick frying pan. And you can put those, and you can put them in a jar and seal them for winter, or you can just have them, but mix it all together. You got this nice pepper mixture that you can use for a different, almost like a condiment all through. I mean, you can do this all the time, and it's just a wonderful mixture right there. And of course, put some garlic in there, give it that extra sweetness in the background.
All right, 866-391-1020. Some lines available. If you have a tomato recipe, you need to call us because I want unique stuff. Use some of that ingenuity, all right? 866-391-1020. He's talking tomato pie. He's Chuck in Shaler, and he's on KDK. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
Real quick before I get to my recipe, my daughter has a compliment for you, Frank.
Okay.
She says, Coons is the only place that she can get their chicken wings and there's no feathers in there. And she's really appreciative of that.
That actually is kind of nasty when you get the...
I mean, now, wait a second. All due respect. Is this a joke or is this real?
No, it's real. Sometimes you'll see like a piece of feather or two sticking out.
Really?
You know, and it's just all the quality of where you buy your meat from. Don't get a place that you trust that's gonna, process the chicken properly.
So he was really displaying.
Yeah, they're not. It's not like it's. Oh, I got to pull all these feathers up before I eat this chicken wing.
Yeah.
No, they're being like one stick at the.
What the heck are we talking about here? I've never heard that. But listen, birds of a feather, as they say. But I will say this: he has entertained me over the last couple of days with a lot of beautiful snapshots. So let's talk about that tomato pie and your thought process behind that. Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay, so here's what I did. I made it twice. The first time came out okay, but I had to tweak out the recipe. So when I made it again yesterday, it was tons better. So here's what I did. I took 1 ear of corn, and half of a large onion, put that on a grill, roasted it up. Meanwhile, I put my pizza stone on there because I was more in a baking mode. I want to make sure that it cooked even. So once I got that on the grill, I took a couple large tomatoes, sliced them up, laid them out on paper towels and salted them because I want to get the moisture out. I don't want it to be mushy tomato pie. And then I made my mixture I whisked 4 eggs, 1/2 a cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1/2 a cup of ricotta, 3/4 of the Jiffy mix, 1.5 cups of pepper jack shredded cheese, a little salt, pepper, and oregano. And then I spooned the mixture into the pan, chopped up the onions and took the corn off the cob, then layered another layer of tomato on there, put it on a grill at 300 for 1 hour. Then I shut it off. I put a little bit of microgreens on top and drizzled with a little bit of EVOO. Let it sit about 15 minutes so I could cut it nice, and I tell you what, it was absolutely delicious.
That sounds good. I do like tomato pie. It's just pizza without the other stuff on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really good. And yeah, the stone's going to make that dough so you can actually cook the dough correctly, plus the center with the tomatoes. Sometimes you won't get all that to the right temperature. The stone's going to get you that hotter temp to get a nice even heat on it.
Yeah, but 300 for 1 hour, and it was perfect. Just got the nice light brown on the bottom, nothing burnt. It was cooked evenly all the way through. And, oh, yeah, we tore that out. It was good eating.
One of the things Chuck told me the other day, and did a great job, we filmed a live video at the McKnight Road store. It's still up on my social media platforms, getting a lot of views because he had a lot of good stuff to say. But what I admire about him, Frank, he likes to go it alone. He doesn't like to use other people's recipes. He basically likes to build his own recipes. And you might be amazed what you come up with, and I think he just shared one of them with us right now. Go ahead.
Well, it's a challenge, when you appreciate what you're, it's almost, you put a challenge to yourself. Let's see if I can make this good. Let's see if I can make that good. And as you get better at it, there's very few things that actually don't taste good because you start to learn what flavors pair with what and how things will cook. You can just kind of picture it in your head of how it's going to end up. And yeah, Chuck, it was a hobby before, and now it's your life. It'd be a hobby before you retired. Now it's what you can do all the time when you choose. Now that you are retired.
And then I had a few pieces of tomato left, and I took one of the Mancini's crusts and I made a tomato pizza, and that came out really good too because I still had the stone on. I just cranked up the heat a little bit higher so that the pizza would cook faster, and it was nice. There was no waste, and it wasn't expensive. No. Real expensive ingredients here,
No, really not. And when you start doing a lot more cooking at home and trying different things, you can save a lot. It would shock you how much you will actually save, and you'll feel ashamed of yourself that you can actually save that much, but before you weren't paying attention.
I agree.
Now you can really save a lot, but it's also good food. You can put in whatever you want to put into it. You're not held to what the restaurant says you're going to eat today. You say, well, I got some extra veggies, I'm throwing that on the pizza.
All right, Chuck, good hearing from you, buddy. Great work. Okay, Elaine in Wilkinsburg, Diane in Valencia. We've got room for you, too. It's all about tomatoes. I want to hear some unique stuff, and that tomato pie was pretty good. 866-391-1020.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. So when it comes to your heart, there's no room for compromise. At UPMC Heart and Vascular Institute, innovation, technology, and world-class expertise come together to treat the most complex heart cases, redefining what's possible for patients who need it most. Getting your heart checked can save your life. Schedule your appointment with the region's leader at upmc.com/heart.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company.
My retired friends are going back to work. I'm worried Social Security won't be enough. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to $1,000 a month for food and medicine. It's free. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living. Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life, your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 72 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Right now, our region is under a flash flood watch until midnight tonight due to rain and thunderstorms moving into our area throughout the day. Stay with News Radio KDKA as we'll give you the complete AccuWeather forecast in just a few moments. A bicyclist and vehicle collided at North Park, sending the bicyclist to the hospital in critical condition. This happened on around 12:30 Saturday afternoon near the North Park Boathouse that's on Pierce Mill Road. Preliminary investigation found that the vehicle struck the bicyclist while turning into the boathouse entranceway. 24-year-old died after a crash in Westmoreland County. Riley Hillegas was on his motorcycle, according to authorities, when he lost control along Bauman Hollow Road in Hempfield Township late Friday night. He struck a guardrail. He later died at the hospital. The crash is under investigation. A terrifying incident near a fast food restaurant in Idaho. 3 people are dead, including the alleged shooter. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Multiple police agencies responding to a shooting at an In-N-Out in Idaho.
Any available units if you can start heading towards In-N-Out for an active shooter.
Terrifying video showing a man standing in the drive-thru at this Twin Falls In-N-Out, pointing a gun and firing. Families in that parking lot running for their lives. Cars speeding away, running over a traffic cone.
What's happening?
Shoot. Go. Just go. First responders on the scene closing roads, telling people in the area to stay away.
KDKA Radio News Time. It's 8:32. The AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Watch for rain at times and perhaps a gusty thunderstorm, the high 78, with any evening thunderstorms tonight giving way to just a shower or two later and a low of 67. Even a morning thunderstorm for tomorrow before some sun returns, the high 80, with just sunshine and some clouds. For a dry Tuesday, the high 83. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Tomato recipes on the Coons Cooking Hour, 866-391-1020. Here is Diane. She joins us on KDK. Good morning, Diane.
Good morning, gentlemen. Perfect timing, like you said. Yeah, these tomatoes are popping up like popcorn, and I couldn't be more thrilled. And you know, Joe, I have to disagree. When I make my tomato sauce, it might be a little bit more different than other people. My oven has this great feature called roast, and so I will roast my garlic in aluminum foil, of course, with some olive oil. And when that's done, I take that garlic-infused olive oil, I'll coat it around the tomatoes, and I'll even use whatever beefsteak, whatever. The more the merrier for me. And coat that on my tomatoes, put them on a sheet pan, put some parchment paper, aluminum foil down, put them in the oven at about 375, and depending upon the size, set a timer for about 7 minutes, gauge it, and you'll see that the skins will start to bubble and get a little bit crisp. And once they start sort of caramelizing is the best way I can describe it, getting brownish, pull them out, let them cool for a little bit, and the skins will peel off really well. Now, a friend has also told me that if you take the seeds out, that can also help with the tartness. But all that I do know is that I have a dear friend that has acid reflux, and she claims that anytime I make homemade sauce, she can eat it with no problem. Any of the canned sauce, store-bought, she has a problem with. So once those have cooled, then I will take them out, put them in a pot, start to simmer them with a little bit more extra virgin olive oil, add in some diced up onion, let that simmer for a little bit, take my immersible blender, use that to chop them up, puree it a little bit more. I add in my fresh herbs. If you don't have fresh herbs, the dry ones are fine. There's that great Italian blend out there. But I will add in parsley, a lot of basil, a little bit of rosemary, and thyme. Add in, I really found I like using sea salt, fresh cracked black pepper. And that just, the roasting just seems to bring out a whole new flavor, and a couple pinches of sugar, of course, too. You got to add in that Holy Spirit seasoning of your salt, pepper, and sugar. With that, you know, if you get, sorry, we are being pounded here. With that, if you get some focaccia bread, you know, put a little glaze of sauce on focaccia bread, put some cheese on it, and you have a great little appetizer. Rob, you were saying how you love your tomato soup. I've taken crackers, naan bread, chips, whatever, put that on a pan for the toaster oven, put some cheese on it, put that in at about 350, 375, no more than 5 minutes. And you have great little dippers or little appetizers. You can even put dollops of sauce on it. And I couldn't agree with you guys more about, stuffed tomatoes. Even with your stuffed tomatoes, put those in with whatever fillings that you have. And that roasted experience with a little, make sure you have that olive oil on the outside so the skins stay intact. But and loving the recipes that everyone has shared this morning. But, looking forward to tomato season for sure, guys.
Good stuff, Diane.
Yeah, some great ideas, especially roasting the tomatoes. That's another, because it brings a little bit more flavor, too, at the same time.
You know what I've noticed some pizza shops are doing, especially local pizza shops? They're putting slices of tomatoes as opposed to just the tomato sauce.
Yeah, they'll do a white pizza where they'll use like a olive oil or butter or just they use a white sauce mix. Sometimes they do make a white sauce, but they'll put tomatoes on there, just slice down and season it like that. Put the cheese, but then put the tomatoes. Or I've seen it like that. I've done it. I've seen a lot more people using fresh mozzarella the same way instead of using shredded cheese, or they're just pulling pieces off the fresh mozzarella instead of slicing it. Different things they're doing, and then what they'll do is they'll take the grape tomatoes, cut them in half, and put that around the fresh mozzarella on top, so you get a different flavor. People get a little more adventurous on pizzas these days, besides just the red sauce. But one of I like a buffalo chicken pizza. It's not very good for you because of the ranch. I use ranch dressing for the sauce, but it's delicious.
Ranch dressing is great.
Eat ranch dressing
and tomatoes. That's a great combination.
Just put that on there for a buffalo chicken pizza. It's really good, But again, not as healthy, so you just get more people to come over so they share the pizza instead of you eating 4 or 5 pieces. Just me and my wife can't eat a whole pizza, so that's like 2 days to 3 days sometimes.
Whatever happened to those days when you were young and you could eat 5, 6 big pizzas?
So we better get 3 pizzas. I got 3 friends coming over,
So it was
in college. We would go to, I forget the name of I went to Duquesne, and down at the bottom of the hill, and it was Duke's, but there is I forget the name of it. It wasn't the one that's there now. There was another pizza shop there, but we would Corleone's. I think it was Corleone. They would do the wedges.
Oh, nice.
So they basically take an entire pizza shell, fill it with hoagie toppings, and then fold it in half, and that was your hoagie.
Ooh.
It was absolutely delicious, but absolutely terrible for you, because you didn't realize you're eating an entire pizza.
Nothing left.
Basically, you're eating a whole pizza just as a hoagie.
Nothing left. They've taken it all. Anyway.
You were young, though. We burned all that off.
It's over. It's over. 866-391-1020. We're going to say hi to Linda in Butler. Hey, Linda, you're on the Coons Cooking Hour, KDK. Good morning.
Good morning. Growing up, I can remember my mom would fry fried green peppers, put it on a slice of bread with mayo, with a slice of tomato, and then we'd have corn on the cob with it. It was so good.
That's great. Corn on the cob. I love corn on the cob. I don't get it. I don't have it as much as I'd like. My wife, it just hurts your teeth eventually. So you just know. Just get it off the cob. You need to take it off the cob. I love corn.
Would you rather roast it, boil it? What would you do if you had your
roast it? So I take it
in
all.
The shuck?
No.
Okay.
I shuck it, clean off all the little furry things, and then I'll season it with usually a chili lime. So there's one, I forget the brand name, but it's like a chili lime seasoning that I put on it along with butter, wrap it in foil, and then it goes on the grill. But you can also, if you have a gas range, you can cook it inside too. Just put it on right on the burners themselves. I'd still wrap it in the foil, but that kind of steam. Once you have the butter in there and just the regular juices of the corn, but really the butter helps steam it inside that foil. You don't want it too hot, so you do a little more indirect. My thing is, once something's cooked, I don't want to do more work on wrapping it.
No.
So I like to get all that off, because what happens is you don't get the stuff, the silk, the corn silk on the inside. You don't get it all off. It gets in your teeth and this and that, and I don't have that kind of time. So I take that off. Now, if I was going to do it, leave it in the husk, I would soak it in water first before it went on to the grill. But again, I don't like, and that's like here's all my friends came over. I said, by the way, I was too lazy to shuck these, so you got to shuck them after I cook them. That's how I feel. I got to do the rest of the. I'm not going to have them finish my work.
There's still nothing better than a ear of corn with just salt and pepper and some butter. Love it. All right, here's Elaine in Wilkinsburg. Up next on the Coons Cooking Hour, KDK. Good morning, Elaine.
Good morning, fellas. I have a really easy, quick recipe. You split an English muffin and you toast it a little bit. Then you put a slice of tomato on it and grate up some sharp cheddar cheese and stick it under your broiler in the toaster oven. That's it.
Wow. To the point.
That's to the point, but that's delicious. That sharp cheddar gives it a nice tang. It pair well with that. It'd pair very well with that tomato.
Yes, put a little salt and pepper on that tomato, and you are set.
Good stuff, Elaine.
Delicious. And, of course, an English muffin, it picks up all that flavor inside of it because of the nooks and crannies.
We used to do mini pizzas with them. I like...
Thomas's. That's the best one. Thomas's English
peanut
muffin.
butter. It's incredible. And I'll be honest with you, I went through a bagels craze. I was making bagel sandwiches every day. Einstein Brothers bagels, go to Coons Market, and I'd be putting Isley's Chip Chop ham, Silver Star, pepperoni, peanut butter. Oh,
and all that went through the middle of the hole and hit you in the nose when you're eating it.
But that's the key. You smell what you're eating. That's the key. All right, listen, we're going to get a break in here. Hey, real quick, while we have a moment, we just got through an hour's worth of doing commercials in that 6 a.m. hour today. Giant 2-day of savings sale that's coming August 5th and 6th at Coons Market, which is just days away. Frank, fill us in. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, here comes the next 2-day sale. And 5th and 6th, it's going to be a Wednesday and Thursday this time. Want a couple of the items, just a few highlights. So, we talk about local here. We're the local champions of the independents here. And, Silver Star pairs well with us and does a lot with us. And Silver Star ham off the bone will be $4.99 a pound. You can pair that with Cooper's. That's from out eastern PA. Cooper's American cheese. It's a sharper American cheese, $3.99 a pound. We have that both in the yellow and white. United Cottage cheese, the 24-ounce containers, 2 for $5. Locally grown green peppers from the farmers all around our stores, 99 cents a pound. And avocados for a nice fresh guacamole, 69 cents each. A little bit of tomato in there as well.
All right, so remember, it's coming 5th and 6th at all 8 great Coons Market locations. Pick up the flyer, go to coonsmarket.com. All sorts of incredible savings. Get there on that first day when the selection is best because these things go fast. All right, coming back, Michelle Penn Hills, Patty in Dormont, and Kathy in Imperial. And coming up next hour, it's our certified arborist from Greater Pitt Tree Service. He's our rock star. He's Troy Lampenfeld. And today, oak and elm pruning as well as oak wilt, Dutch elm disease, and more. All of your tree-related questions 20 minutes away as we continue on KDKA.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall and Museum recognizes Pennsylvania's combat veterans who have received medals for gallantry. With this Hall of Valor moment, here's the curator of Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall and Museum, Michael Krause.
U.S. Army Major Joseph Thompson of Beaver County received the Medal of Honor for Gallantry in World War I while in France in the fall of 1918. Major Thompson, a former Pitt football star, constantly encouraged his battalion on while braving machine gun and artillery fire. When the advance of his companies was held up by a hostile machine gun nest with 6 friendly tanks disabled, Major Thompson rushed forward on foot 3 separate times in advance of the assaulting line and led a remaining tank to within a few yards of the enemy. The tank succeeded in making it possible for the infantry to advance.
For the perfect wedding up to 300, the magnificent ballroom and balcony is a truly unique setting to begin your new life together. For information, visit soldiersandsailorshall.org.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, here we go. One of our favorites, Kathy in Imperial Tomato Basil. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, guys. Okay, so tomato basil pie. Have you ever had that?
No.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, so good. So I like to use a glass pie dish. You don't have to, but you can see the color of the crust. For me, I like to be able to see that to know it's done. But so what you do is you get a nice beefsteak tomato and you slice it in rings. And what I do is I'll salt it and let some of the juice come out and drain that a bit, then pat it with a paper towel. Then I get a pie crust, either a homemade or a store-bought one, put it in your baking dish, your pie dish. Then you layer the bottom with your sliced tomatoes, and then some fresh basil leaves on top of that. And then you mix together in a bowl 1 cup of Hellmann's, a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and one of those bags, 2-cup bag of shredded mozzarella, or you could use fresh mozzarella, whatever. And you mix all that together and spread it on top of the basil and the tomatoes like you would icing a cake. And then you bake it in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes to an hour. And the key is when you bring it out, let it cool about 15 or 20 minutes. But it is absolutely delicious because it gets creamy. It makes like those tomatoes mixed with the spread that you put on top. And then the cheese kind of gets a little bubbly and brown on top. And it is just delicious.
That sounds...
No, it sounds good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Well, believe me, if Kathy's making it,
Another
it's good.
different way of having it. That's why I
right.
definitely cooked that.
Listen, we got a loaded phone bank, so I want to move along. But Kathy, good hearing from you. Thank you very much. Here's Michelle in Penn Hills. Hey, Michelle, go ahead, please. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me. This recipe was my mother-in-law's, and it's picante sauce. You take a quart, which is like 4 cups of cherry tomatoes, 1 green pepper, 1 onion, and 2 jalapeno peppers. You throw all that in a blender. Chop it all up. No need to take the skins off the tomatoes or anything else. Chop it up, and then you put it in a pot, and you add 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, half a cup of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of sugar. And if you want any oregano, cumin, cilantro, anything like that, 1 or 2 teaspoons would work. You simmer it for an hour, and it will be watery. And you can pack it in pints, and if you boil the lids, new lids, put them on your jars. Since they're hot, it'll end up self-sealing, that you don't have to put it in a canner or anything. Doesn't make a lot, makes 2 pints, but it's really good on like scrambled eggs. You can serve it with tortilla chips. It's just delicious, but it's so hard to get a lot of cherry tomatoes these days. And it's best with cherry tomatoes. They're sweeter.
Yeah, definitely. You're right about the cherry tomato. Now it's the grape tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes actually were a little bit larger, a little bit different. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We've got lots of calls. Let's see if we can get at least one, maybe two more. Here's Patty in Dormont. Patty, you're on the Coons Cooking Hour. Good morning.
Good morning. A quick tip, if you want to cut down acidity in tomato sauce, add a pinch of baking soda, and you'll see it bubble up, and it takes that out. Okay, my recipe is for a BLT dip, but there's no L. So you prepare a pound of bacon, save 2 tablespoons of bacon grease, put those on a paper towel. When they're done, chop up 2 large tomatoes. In a bowl, add 1 cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of sour cream, add your bacon grease to that, mix it all together, add your tomatoes, add your crumbled bacon, mix that all together, taste it, because the salt level might be too high with the bacon, so you don't add any salt until you taste it to make sure. If you need salt, add pepper, mix it all together, serve it onto tortilla chips. It's very good.
All right, thank you, thank you, Patty. We got
very good.
One more, Mary. Last call, Mary. About a minute. All yours from Westview to KDKA. How are you?
Okay, good. I have all these recipe booklets. You know, you go in a supermarket and you'd pay, from 1988, I'd go in a grocery store and there'd be booklets and it was for $1.39, and I have collected them all up until now. I have 50 or 60 of them. Would you like to have them? I have no reason to use them. I'm a home ec teacher, vocational home ec teacher. I've taught in West Virginia and Pittsburgh schools, everywhere. I even was at food banks. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want them?
Yeah, we take them. We can line you up with a way to get them to us. Probably mail them here.
Yeah, don't mail them here. You have to probably mail them to Frank out at their corporate office. And
yeah, we'll get you the information.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on hold, and then Frank will talk to you off the air, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, fine.
All right, thank
you.
you.
And for that, what we'll do is we'll feature some of those recipes here on the air once a week, maybe. Just
It'd be nice to kind of look through them a little bit. And obviously, she's a pro. Anybody that did that for as long as she did, she knows what she's doing.
And that keeps those recipes fresh, and that's nice.
All right, Mary, you stay right there, and we'll get to you after the show is over. But in the meantime, we got to draw a winner in this week's show. We got a lot of people to pick from, so that's coming up next. Also, don't forget, we're less than 10 minutes away. Troy Lampenfeld, our certified arborist, is going to be here. Greater Pitt Tree Service. All your tree-related questions, and also today, oak and elm pruning, along with oak wilt and Dutch elm disease. Everything you need in the way of trees, we've got you covered. Coming up shortly with Troy Lampenfeld. Sunday morning, your Pratt Pack, KDKA.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And when I went to go back down to the lobby area, the door opened, and there was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I stopped and I said, "Looks like you guys are busy. Go ahead." He goes, "Get in." And then Bruno tells Arnold, "I hope I didn't frighten your little friend." I feel like sometimes I'm leading a Forrest Gump-type life.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Every time I've had CertaPro painters do work on my home, I really appreciate their professionalism. They make it worry-free, and it starts with a free estimate, all at the right price. And I love that each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Hi, this is Larry Richard. It's the perfect time to reach out, get CertaPro painters to visit your home. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. You'll be so glad you did. Trust CertaPro Painters.
In Pittsburgh, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 25 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Pittsburgh. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash,
download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers. And someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and saved thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, time to draw this week's winner of that $25 gift certificate, and the winner is...
This week's winner is Linda in Butler.
All right, remind them again, 5th and 6th, giant 2-day of savings sale. You don't want to miss out. Some of the brands that you can get in on, including Silver Star and more. Right, Frank?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a 2-day sale, August 5th and 6th. Some of the items we have in there, we have avocados for 69 cents each, Silver Star ham off the bone, $4.99 a pound, United Cottage cheese, 24-ounce containers are 2 for $5, and Chobani Creations yogurt, those 5.3-ounce containers, 88 cents each. So those are just some of the items that you're going to find. And again, just keep your eye out. We always post our ad online by Monday afternoons. That you can take a look and preview if you hit the next ad and see what's coming up for when the ad breaks on Wednesdays.
All right, good to see you. And next week we're going to be doing peppers.
There we go. See, we got the tomatoes. Now we're going to come into peppers, whatever's left. We're going to answer Doug's question. What do I do with all these peppers?
All right, listen. Number to dial is 866-391-1020, because guess what we're going to do in just moments? Our man, the rock star, our certified arborist for Greater Pitt Tree Service, Troy Lampenfeld, is waiting in the wings to join us. Anything about your tree-related questions, if you want to reserve your space right now, start dialing 866-391-1020. Always busy when Troy drops by. We're going to be talking oak and elm pruning along with oak wilt and Dutch elm disease, something people are dealing with right now. So 866-391-1020. It's your Pratt Pack, 9 o'clock. Coming up next, it's Rob Taylor.
The preceding program was paid for by Coons Quality Market.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 73 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 9 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Our area is under a flood watch until midnight tonight. We'll give you the complete forecast coming up in just about 3 minutes. A bicyclist and vehicle collided at North Park, sending that bicyclist to the hospital in critical condition. Crash happened around 12:30 Saturday afternoon near the North Park Boathouse on Pierce Mill Road. Preliminary investigation found that the vehicle struck the bicyclist while turning into the boathouse entranceway. A motorcyclist died following a crash in Westmoreland County. 24-year-old Riley Hillegas, authorities said, was riding his motorcycle on Bauman Hollow Road in Hempfield Township late Friday night when he lost control and struck a guardrail. Hillegas later died at the hospital. That crash is under investigation. Pittsburgh police continue to investigate after more than 30 gunshots were fired Friday night in the Hill District. It happened along Webster Avenue between DeVillers Street and Aaron Street around 11 o'clock Friday night. No one was injured. Vehicles and apartments, though, they were struck by gunfire. No arrests have been made. And Allegheny County Police are trying to determine who shot a man in McKeesport early Saturday morning. It happened around 1 o'clock on Jenny Lynn Street between Spring and Olive Streets. That man was shot multiple times, was taken to the hospital in stable condition. KDKA Radio News Time, it's 9:02. The AccuWeather forecast, as mentioned, is coming up right now.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When you get a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, things get real.
And nobody understands that better than the Parkinson's Foundation. All across the country, we provide resources and support in the fight against Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement.
The Parkinson's Foundation is dedicated to improving care and advancing research towards a cure.
And when you call our helpline, you'll speak to a real person who can help you find the right information. Because while living with Parkinson's can be challenging, there are things you can do to improve your quality of life. So, whether you're newly diagnosed, have been living with Parkinson's for years, or caring for a loved one,
When Parkinson's gets real, find real answers at the Parkinson's Foundation.
go to parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO, 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a humid day with rain and a thunderstorm. Any thunderstorm may be rather gusty with a high of 78. Then an evening thunderstorm gives way to just a shower or two late tonight with a low of 67, followed by another humid day tomorrow with a morning thunderstorm, then some afternoon sun, high 80, leading to a dry Tuesday with some sun, high 83. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Greater Pitt Tree Service. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we love when he drops by. He is our rock star, as Carlos and I call him, at Greater Pitt Tree Service. Troy Lampenfeld, the certified arborist. So it's all about your trees, your plants, overall health care. Let's get going. Get on, join us right now at 866-391-1020. And as I've been telling you all weekend, and especially this morning as we counted down to start the show, very important topic today, oak and elm pruning, as well as oak wilt and Dutch elm disease. Anything on your mind about that topic or whatever is bothering you concerning your trees, you need some information, you get that free advice for simply giving us a call. All of our lines are open. We want to go full throttle until 10 o'clock, 866-391-1020. Troy, great to have you back. And before we get started, where are we right now on the tree calendar for another season that, believe it or not, is heading towards the month of August as we are officially underway in what many people believe is the final month of the summer? Good morning.
How you doing, Rob? I'm doing well. Glad to be back. Love being on here. Yeah, I mean, as far as the calendar goes, some people, refer to phenological calendar. That's basically just a calendar by which you use different, bloom times for flowers, different insect emergences, things like that, to determine what's going to happen next in terms of natural systems. As far as that goes, and relating to oak and elm pruning, we're still a little ways before our pruning season, but pruning season for oak and elms, because of that phenological calendar, is later in the year. And, there's a couple of different reasons for that, but what we're looking at now is we're looking at a time where it's the perfect time to start scheduling maintenance for oaks and elms, because you can only really start doing maintenance on them later into the year, closer to the fall, late fall, and winter. So we're in a position where basically our schedule is set up so that during November we can do these prunings and cablings and different treatments, root collar excavations, things like that, on oak trees and elm trees without risk. But if we were to do those same treatments now or earlier in the summer, we'd be putting those trees at significant risk of disease pressure and issues that can kill mature trees, in the case of oak wilt, in a matter of weeks, which is pretty drastic when you think about the size and the timeline that these trees are on.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as our current timeline, we're looking to start booking oak and elm prunings, especially for mature trees that need taken care of, maybe haven't been taken care of for a long while. And also we're on the lookout for treatments of disease that are currently present. So I've just done a couple of different Dutch elms disease injections to prevent that disease from taking down a few trees that are valuable to some people and valuable to the urban forest. And then I'm planning on doing a couple more oak wilt injections in the near future here to protect a couple other trees that we've got on the menu for this year that had some storm damage in the summer. Like I said, when you're looking at pruning or any kind of damage to the tree during the summer, you open up that disease pressure. So if you have an oak tree or an elm tree that's been seriously impacted by some kind of storm damage, or there's been damage to the trunk from lawnmowers and from weed whackers, things like that, or heavy equipment during some kind of construction, it's a really good idea to get those treated for disease resistance. Especially this year, we're seeing pretty much the highest incidence of Dutch elms disease that I can personally remember. And we're definitely seeing a little bit of an increased pressure from oak wilt as well, Rob.
So this is why we brought this topic up. Carlos and I and Troy decided to bring this to the table now so you can schedule ahead, because it gets very busy once they get into the season. And what's also nice about having our certified arborist here, plants, flowering shrubs, all of these things that you need questions answered. They do the plant healthcare thing, in which you can sign up by giving them a call at 412-884-TREE, 8733. And they can come throughout the calendar year to make sure that you're ahead of things. And if you're wondering right now if maybe one of these problems, as you're up on a Sunday morning, you're looking at your backyard, your trees could be suffering from, or any other situation. So we give all of this in the recipe, and the biggest part of that ingredient is the ability to call right now and to talk to Troy Lampenfeld, our certified arborist to Greater Pitt Tree Service. All of our numbers are open at 866-391-1020. That's 866-391-1020. And if you want to set up an appointment, Troy, to come out, you need to simply call 412-884-TREE or 412-884-8733. Being that you talked a little bit about the best time of year to prune oak trees and avoid disease, you talked about avoiding doing this work now, this time of year. So let me ask you, why does pruning actually help these trees stay stronger and healthy, the ones that are suffering from some of the diseases we're talking about today? Go ahead.
So when we're looking at pruning, we're not actually looking at health very often. That's one misconception that a lot of people make. A lot of people will call us and ask, hey, I need to get these trees pruned so that they can be healthier. And in reality, we're never really doing pruning for health purposes necessarily. We might be taking some deadwood out of the tree to reduce the amount of insect presence on the tree or things like that. But taking live material off of a tree, especially a mature tree, is never something that's going to benefit the tree from an intrinsic standpoint. You know, it's never something that's going to be beneficial just because you're taking material off. In reality, everything that tree grew, that tree needs. You know, those leaves that are on there are the only way that tree is bringing in energy to sustain the system that is that big biological organism. So when we're looking at pruning, we're not looking at health benefits necessarily. We're looking at compatibility benefits, I would call it. We're looking at structural benefits. So if you're looking at a large tree in, let's say, you know, the north side of the city, if you have a big tree in the north side or a big tree in Squirrel Hill and it's near a house, near a structure, a lot of the time that tree is maybe not in the best architecture to stay stable, given, you know, the types of storms and winds that we've been having, just how it grew initially, because it's so exposed in that area and it doesn't have other trees growing around it to shield it from wind and storms and things like this. It ends up needing some amount of management to stay more stable and more compatible with an urban environment. That's the key, right? We're taking these big trees that if a big limb falls off of a tree in the middle of the woods, it's not going to damage anything. It's not going to cause any problems. There's no risk there. But if a big tree falls off, or if a big limb falls off a tree in the middle of Squirrel Hill and lands on somebody's house, there's a pretty significant amount of risk to people and property.
Right.
So what we're looking at basically is making these trees more compatible with an urban environment and making them stable, so that when, you know, high winds come around, they've been pruned properly to make it so that the points of leverage on that tree are manipulated in a way that makes them less likely to break under high stress. That's our job.
Let me give you another example here, and I pick up pretty quick on this stuff. I've been doing these shows for almost 40 years. So here's the deal. A lot of times, even if you let a good oak tree go and it just grows and grows and grows, and it's already got 20 years in before you move into that place, what eventually happens, the tree may be happy and healthy and no immediate danger, but it becomes so large, it becomes almost you can't manage it. And then you're dealing with leaves that continue to stretch these branches. You have more cleanup. The roots start to get protruding through your lawn because this tree's becoming so massive. You have the possibility of these roots growing into your foundation, into your sewer system. So it's all about kind of getting a haircut, if you will, to make things manageable too, because, hey, the tree may not die of disease or it may not fall, but it may just get too big, too strong to manage, especially if you're on a quarter of acre of a lot or a half acre of a lot. These trees, people don't realize when you plant them, even though you may not be here 20, 30 years down the road, they just keep on going, do they not, Troy?
They do, and that's the number one rule in arboriculture is right tree, right place. That is more of a planting issue where if you're going to plant a big pin oak tree in a yard that's about, 100 square feet right next to a house and high voltage power lines, I can tell you right now, there's going to be some serious problems down the line with that tree. You've just made, a critical mistake that probably won't show its the real impacts of that mistake for another 10 to 15 years, maybe longer. But when you make a decision to plant a tree, what tree you plant is extremely important. Getting an arborist consultation on that can be useful as well, because a lot of the time, you'll go into a nursery and they'll have something listed on the tag, and putting that into perspective and putting the size of the root system and the size of the canopy into perspective in a potential place that you're putting that tree is not necessarily the easiest thing to do if you're not spending every day looking at these trees and kind of figuring out which trees do well where. And on top of that, with the size differential taken into account, there's also the matter of what trees are going to do well in what type of soil. If you're living in an area with really, really heavy clay, like a lot of parts of Pittsburgh, certain types of trees are not going to do well with that because drainage is not going to be effective in that area. It's not going to be as easily drained out, and you're going to get issues like root rot. You're going to get long-term instability. You might get fungal vascular wilt diseases as well just from stress. But if you plant the right tree in the right place, the ideal situation is that you have as little management as possible, but the right management every time. That's kind of the plan, right? You want to make sure you do it well and do it, basically make it last as well as you possibly can. When we're doing oak prunings, for example, if we're doing large prunings on oak trees, these big mature trees don't need pruned every year. You know what I mean? You need somebody to come out and prune this tree and then maybe come back in 5 years or longer after that and prune it again. And mostly the reason that you're pruning it again is to get deadwood out after that time. Because if we did our job right, we pruned it properly the first time. We got, you know, the leverage of different limbs adjusted so that they're less likely to break. And we got the tree in a more stable architecture for the long term. There's also the option of, you know, structural support, cabling and bracing, things like that can kind of bolster a tree's defenses from nature as well. But that's a different issue. When you're looking at pruning, we definitely want to make sure that we're doing things as well as possible the first time, because improper pruning can cause you some serious problems as well. And we want to make sure basically that we're doing this pruning with a goal in mind. We're not just coming out and taking material off of this tree for the sake of taking material off of the tree. We want to go out there and have a structural goal to establish a better architecture for the tree and have reasons why we're making every cut. If you're coming out here and just cutting a little off the top for the sake of cutting a little off the top, I can guarantee you're doing more harm than good, and you may be making your tree more likely to fail.
All right, I got to get to a break, Troy. We'll pick up on that thought on the other side, but I do want to hear from you folks. Troy Lampenfeld is here, certified arborist, Greater Pitt Tree Service. Get on the phone. Anything on your mind in the way of trees. This is a golden opportunity to get that free advice. Just to call away at 866-391-1020. If you want to reach them and set up an appointment, 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. Talking a lot today, and we love to hear from you. All of our lines are open. Usually gets busy in that second and third segment, so don't get left out. Start dialing now. 866-391-1020.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Troy Lampenfeld, our certified arborist, is here, and we'd love to hear from you at 866-391-1020. And if you want to set up an appointment again with them, Carlos and Company, dial 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. Why I say leave it to the professionals, it's simple, because you have the right tools to get the job done. We got some calls coming in, Troy, and before we get to those phone calls, just tell me a little bit about when it comes to pruning, what type of tools do you use as a certified arborist representing Greater Pitt Tree Service?
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about pruning, our crews are using pretty much the best stuff in the industry. We're obviously using chainsaws. You know, that's the tool of the trade. Ideally, we're using hand saws to make a lot of the cuts that we're doing as well, but when we're looking at, you know, specific tools to do pruning, a lot of the problem isn't necessarily making the cuts. It's getting to the point where you need to be to get that cut done. So we're looking at using pretty specific industry tech, using a aerial spider lift. So it's a tracked lift that'll ride into somebody's backyard or ride through a 36-inch gate. And we can put mats down to make sure so that it doesn't do any damage to any kind of landscaping or hardscaping or anything like that. And we're very careful about that. But this thing will get us up 100 feet in the air, and it'll fit through a 36-inch gate. So that's a pretty valuable asset for us, getting into really hard-to-access spots and getting really high up into a tree, especially if we're getting pruning done that's maybe over top of a roof and isn't quite as accessible climbing. And then if we're doing stuff where, you know, it's even more landlocked than that, or maybe just in a situation where it makes more sense to do it this way, our guys are climbing using pretty advanced systems where we're using single line rope access materials. The tree care industry has evolved basically in tandem with like rock climbing, rope access and rescue, and mountaineering in terms of the gear that we use. So we're using a system of ropes and pulleys and different specialized gear to get up into the tree safely and get out as far as we need to make the right cut for the tree, to make the safest possible position. So, I mean, trying to do this stuff by yourself would be, in my opinion, pretty insane. But you know, doing it with the right gear, and really the more important thing is the right training and the right experience.
All right.
If I'm up in a tree making a cut and I don't know how to tie the right knot to hold that to hold that limb on and have it rigged, and you don't have the right rigging system,
Not
you
good.
could be in for a world of hurt.
All right, let me get to some of these calls. Picking up on the phone lines, as I said, we normally do in the second and third segment. So give us a call, 866-391-1020. Here's Cindy in Crafton for Troy Lampenfeld, Certified Arborist, Greater Pitt Tree Service, KDKA. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning, gentlemen. I purchased 2 magnolia trees, which I thought were trees, and I found out that they're bushes. I don't know anything about. I killed a cactus last week, so that tells you how much I know about these trees and stuff. It grows purple flowers. It's beautiful, and it does a couple times a year. But I don't know if I can make it a tree, or is it going to get wider? It's very tall and it's very wide.
Yeah, it depends on the specific type of magnolia that you're looking at. Depending on when it flowers, you know, it might be a sweet bay magnolia or an umbrella magnolia or something like that.
The only thing I can tell you is purple. That's the only thing. My mom wanted a purple
No problem.
magnolia, so I don't have any idea. I thought it was a tree, and it keeps growing wider and wider, and I don't know whether to cut it or not.
Yeah, magnolia trees, they can be trained to be either a tree or a shrub, right? You know, if you keep that thing pruned down to a really small size, you can keep it as a shrub. But if you give it time to grow and you prune, you know, to try to establish a more central lead on the tree, so you try to establish maybe one stem that's going to be the dominant stem off of that tree, you can have that basically turn into a tree over time, and grow to be a better established tree rather than a shrub. It's going to grow wide. Magnolias like to be relatively short and spready, but you're still going to get that tree, you know, over time to a pretty significant size. So if you were to have somebody out there, you know, you could call us, get an appointment set up at the office, 412-844-TREE. And then, you know, we can get this set up basically to come out and get a pruning done on that to establish it for the future.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate the information. One more thing. When I water, it seems like it's always dry to me. And when I water it, all the leaves turn like dark brown. Am I watering it too much?
Yeah, you might be watering it too much. Overwatering is definitely an issue for a lot of different plants. It depends on, you know, how frequently, but a good way to check is to check the soil, not the plant. So get your fingers around 2 to 3 inches into the soil, and it's kind of like checking if a cake is done or not. If you can take your finger out and a little bit of that material sticks to your finger, then it's probably wet enough that you don't need to put anything on there. You don't need to water it too much. But if you check it and it's very dry and nothing sticks to your finger at all, you're probably going to want to soak it down pretty well. And you don't want to water too frequently. That's a big problem. If you water very frequently with just a little bit of water, it can cause issues for the tree. But if you water very deeply, a ton of water one time, maybe once every week, once every 2 weeks, that can get you pretty good results.
Okay, one more question, please. Why do the roots seem like they go on top of the ground instead of underneath the ground? I'm forever putting dirt over top of them, and then I come out like in 2 weeks and they're on top again. Well, is that something?
Yeah, you don't need to put dirt on top of it. What happens there is when you plant a tree in very compacted soil, that soil doesn't have enough oxygen and water availability and pore space in between the particles of soil to let the roots get what they need deeper into the ground. So planting a tree in heavily compacted soil can lead to a really shallow root system that isn't going to be nearly as stable or nearly as beneficial for the tree in the long term. But they're pretty resilient. They're pretty resilient creatures. So trees can, you know, survive in a lot of different situations. That soil compaction is not going to be ideal, though.
So planting it in the clay that we have in our backyard wasn't a good idea, but it's growing. It's growing. It might be 8-9 foot tall, maybe by 13 feet wide. It's huge. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it'll keep moving. Don't you worry.
Thank you very much. I wish it was a money tree. I'd go out and pluck it. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's a lot of information, Cindy. Well done. Mo in Pittsburgh, we're going to get to you in a moment. Hey, this is what we do. Every other week when they are here in the 9 o'clock hour, whether it's Carlos or Troy, we take your questions. We give you a chance, a gift from the people who work for you every day in and out around this region to take care of that beautiful space that is your outdoor living space. And right now, it's Troy Lampenfeld, our certified arborist. Now, we're kind of getting you ready for that season, so we want you to be thinking about it and get your appointment set up, because when they get into the season of pruning and taking care of all of these issues with these big, beautiful trees that we've been talking about, they get busy, so we don't want you to get left out. So you need to make a call, and you can do that right now by calling 412-884-TREE or 412-884-8733. Talking, of course, about oak and elm pruning, as well as oak wilt and Dutch elm disease. But we're also throwing in anything on your mind in the way of tree-related questions or those flowering plants, talking shrubs, because we've got our certified arborist here, and we're going to tell you about that plant health care program that they have that can keep you looking good throughout the year when we get back on the other side. But Mo, you're minutes away, and anyone else that wants to get in here, now's the time to do it. It's Troy Lampenfeld, Greater Pitt Tree Service with your Pratt Pack on a Sunday morning, 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
In Pittsburgh, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 25 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Pittsburgh. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Steelers Nation, are you ready? Don't miss Steelers Fest on Saturday, August 8th at Legion Keener Park in Latrobe. There's live music, mouth-watering food from local vendors, games and inflatables for the kids, Steely McBeam and the Steel Line Drumline. This is Larry Richard. I'll be there 11 to 1. Then you can meet Steelers legends for autographs 3 to 5. Cap it off with the Saturday night scrimmage at Latrobe Memorial Stadium. Football like you've never experienced it before. It's big, it's bold, it's only in Latrobe. Time to get that painting project done that you've been putting off by calling CertaPro Painters. Hi, this is Larry Richard. My first experience more than a decade ago started with a free estimate. They got that done quickly and left the place beautifully cleaned up after a great professional job. And each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. That makes all the difference in the world. You're talking to the owner. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is 73 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 9:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Right now, our area is under a flood watch until midnight. We'll have the complete AccuWeather forecast coming up in just about 3 minutes. Terrifying incident near a fast food restaurant in Idaho. 3 people killed, including the suspected shooter. Customers in the parking lot were seen running from the gunfire. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee with the latest.
Multiple police agencies responding to a shooting at an In-N-Out in Idaho.
Any available units if you can start heading towards In-N-Out for an active shooter.
Terrifying video showing a man standing in the drive-thru at this Twin Falls In-N-Out, pointing a gun and firing. Families in that parking lot running for their lives. Cars speeding away, running over a traffic cone.
What's happening? Shoot. Go. Just go.
First responders on the scene closing roads, telling people in the area to stay away.
KDKA Radio News Time 9:31. Our next update's at 10. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. Parents, before you buy your student's mattress online, consider this. At OMF, we offer the same convenience, but with major advantages. You can actually try our mattresses before buying, crucial for your student's comfort. You'll know exactly where your mattress comes from, right here in our local factory. By supporting the Original Mattress Factory, you're investing in our community. And here's the kicker. You'll pay less than you would online. Quality sleep, local support, and better prices. OriginalMattress.com.
Parents, do you want to set your student up for success this school year? Start with a good night's sleep on a mattress from the Original Mattress Factory. We've made back-to-school shopping a breeze. Order online and we'll deliver directly to campus. Or swing by our factory and drive away with a mattress today. Either way, you'll get top quality at a factory direct price. Our locally made mattresses are designed to fit dorm rooms and apartment bedrooms alike. A great mattress and quality rest are key to academic success. Visit OMF today and cross quality sleep off your back-to-school list.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear. It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Watch for rain at times and perhaps a gusty thunderstorm, the high 78, with any evening thunderstorms tonight giving way to just a shower or two later and a low of 67. Even a morning thunderstorm for tomorrow before some sun returns, the high 80, with just sunshine and some clouds. For a dry Tuesday, the high 83. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Greater Pitt Tree Service.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Carlos is enjoying the day off, but we're in the capable hands of our certified arborist. We'd like to call him our rock star, Troy Lampenfeld, Greater Pitt Tree Service, 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. But the phone banks are jammed, so let's go to work. Here's Mo in Pittsburgh up next for Troy Lampenfeld on KDKA. Good morning, Mo.
Hi, good morning. Troy, we have a 185 to 200-year-old oak tree in our front yard, and the one side is dying. It is definitely not oak wilt because we've had an oak tree cut down from oak wilt. We know what to look for oak wilt. But you can just tell this tree is dying, which is really sad because it's so old. So the primary line of Duquesne Light, the branches are above and kind of going over that primary line. And what we want to know, my husband and I, is could I call Duquesne Light and possibly they can get those branches down before I start calling tree services?
That's a good question. And on occasion, there are situations where you can do something where Duquesne Light will help you out, but they are mostly going to prioritize things that are a direct threat to the line. So if you have a tree that is like extremely dead and nearby the line, they may come out and cut that down for you if it's really in horrible shape, but they have a lot of maintenance that they do. And oftentimes people, even when they do get, requests in, they'll spend kind of years on a waiting list to have work done by Duquesne Light. And a lot of the time it's not really the type of work you want to have done either, depending on what you're looking to do. I mean, have you guys had an arborist out to check the tree out to try to keep it, healthier and save the tree?
Yeah, we have. We injected it We injected it in 23 and 24, and we're not going to inject it again. You could just tell the tree is dying.
Injected it for oak wilt, preventative.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because of the tree we had to cut down from the oak wilt. And, I mean, it's amazing how oak wilt can just take a tree down within weeks to a month.
It's a brutal disease. Yeah, I mean, that's why it's so important to do things properly there. And a lot of the time, those, that type of power line clearance, I'm not, making any accusations, but a lot of the time that power line clearance stuff is pretty indiscriminate to timing in terms of when they're pruning trees, and that can be a little bit of a progenitor of disease pressure for oak wilt too. But yeah, I mean, if that tree is, in really horrible shape, I'd love to come out and take a look at it free of charge if you have the opportunity to see if there's anything that I can do to try to save it for you. But, if we're looking at limbs that are overhanging the power lines, provided that there's like 15 feet of clearance above those lines, Duquesne Light's not coming out to do that. And I mean, you can have a tree service out there to prune those back, but again, that may not be the best thing depending on what's going on with the tree, especially if that tree is struggling from a health perspective. If it is savable, doing heavy pruning of live wood is one of the worst things you can do for it. So I would recommend, I'd like to come out there and check the tree out. But I would recommend probably, instead of looking up, looking down. If that tree is struggling, it's probably as a result of long-term stress caused by, deficiencies in the soil, caused by potential soil compaction, caused by overall just having harsher and harsher conditions over time. The past multiple years that we've had, past 5 years, we've had pretty consistent drought come through this area, which can stress trees out pretty significantly. Even huge trees that have been there for a long time are not immune to it. So, I'd love to come out there and check that out for you and see if there's any better solution that keeps that tree on the map for a lot longer.
Okay, then I'll give you a call. I'll give Greater Pitt Tree Service a call.
Please do. Yeah, please give our office a call, and we will. I'll come out there personally, and I'll see what I can do for you. I appreciate you calling in, and hopefully I can get you a better solution.
Okay, and then I will ask for you when I call in. Make sure.
Of course. No problem.
All right, Troy, that's a perfect segue before I get back to we got Jerry and Jeff waiting in the wings. This is why you want to plan health care throughout the year, so you know exactly where you stand and can maybe get a jump on something before it ends up in a tragedy situation as far as the tree dying and having to be removed. Talk about that. We got about a minute, then I want to get back to these calls. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just important to keep eyes on things, right? Like having a monitoring situation basically where either myself or another arborist on staff can come out and check out your trees and see if there are any signs of potential issues that will, build up over time and cause these types of problems. If you catch a problem, 5-10 years before, a lot of people call us, people call us a little bit too late a lot of the time. And if you have us out there to do preventative maintenance, we can catch a lot of these problems and fix them before they get to a point where they are going to cause the tree to kind of be a removal more than they are a case for saving the tree. So please give us a ring and let me come out and check the property out at the very least. And if everything looks good, we don't necessarily have to get anything done, but there are usually at least one or two things on each property that could be improved or prevented from some form of management of either the soil, the root system, certain types of fungal diseases, things like that, that we can do a good job to keep those trees healthier for a longer time and get you a little bit more value out of those trees for the long term. All
right, again, that number, 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. Number here to get some free advice about anything in the way of your trees. Call us right now, 866-391-1020. We've got Jeff in Fulton County on the air on KDK. Good morning, Jeff.
Oh, good morning to everybody there in Pittsburgh. My issue is I have 10 extremely large boxwood shrubs on my property, and I guess I have boxwood blight.
Oof. Yeah, boxwood blight is a tough one to deal with, again, when you're not looking at it preventatively. So boxwoods are one of those plants where you buy them and it kind of signs you up for a contract for having to do a certain amount of maintenance. Otherwise, you're eventually going to lose them to something like, the main things that are damaging boxwoods right now are boxwood blight, there's Voluatella blight, there's boxwood leaf miner, and then the most recent one is box tree moth, which has caused a lot of damage on the eastern coast and is starting to move our way. But when you're looking at boxwood blight specifically, the way that you manage that is with a preventative fungicide application earlier in the season. So, if you have boxwood blight on the property, it may be best to look and kind of take a choice between which shrubs are going to be salvageable and which aren't. Treat the ones that are going to be salvageable, and then take out the ones that are already beyond the point where they're going to be salvageable. Because then you can save a couple of these plants and keep them on a preventative maintenance kind of management plan. But if you're looking at boxwood blight spread throughout a lot of boxwoods, it's a little bit late to do a lot about it, unfortunately. You can prune a lot of that dead out and try to recuperate the plant, but boxwood blight moves pretty quickly and pretty voraciously, so it's difficult to get good control once it's been established in the plant. How aggressive is that damage?
Well, I've been keeping them watered and fertilized this summer, and they're looking a lot better than in the spring.
Well, that's good. The watering is definitely going to help you there. I would avoid excessive fertilization when plants are under stress from disease or pests. So if you're looking at putting anything with a higher nitrogen content on there, a lot of the time that's going to attract other pests and kind of reallocate the plant's energy to a position of growth as opposed to a position of disease defense. So sometimes that can be a little bit of a thorn in the side. So I would cut the fertilization for now and focus on keeping them watered during drought, mulching around the base, and then it sounds like you may be outside of our area, outside of our coverage area, but either way, I mean, if you're in our area, I'll come out and check them out and see if we can treat them. But if not, I can at least give you some advice on people in your area that will be able to manage that.
Yeah, we're about 140 miles from Pittsburgh.
Well, that's quite a ways.
Yeah.
So, are you over towards Ohio way or farther into PA?
No, east side of the Alleghenies.
Okay. Well, if you give the office a call and ask for me, I can find other reputable arborists in that area and give you a recommendation for management.
Oh, that would be great.
Awesome.
We're
Please
near
give us a call and ask.
So. Okay, thank you, sir.
We appreciate the call, Jeff. There, they'll help you. 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. We got Jerry and McMurray. We're going to get to him in just a matter of moments, but we have one more segment. Been a very busy day today on the phone lines. That's the way we like it. That's what we do this show every other Sunday in this time slot right here on KDKA. And again, our number is 866-391-1020. He's Troy Lampenfeld. He is that certified arborist from Greater Pitt Tree Service. And we're back with one more segment next.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKARadio.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Been 30 time, would have been 30, no, would have been 30, being 30, been 29. If that'll help, been 29,000, being 75, would have been 9.
Get ready to bid on the equipment you need in the Ritchie Brothers Northeast Regional Auction on August 4th. Inventory is housed at locations in Pittsburgh, North Franklin, and Northeast Maryland, with in-person inspections available. Bid on a wide selection of construction and transportation equipment. Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit rbauction.com/Pittsburgh to sign up Again, that's rbauction.com/Pittsburgh.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Experience Pittsburgh Magazine's long-awaited Ultimate House, open for tours. Explore a stunning luxury showcase home featuring the latest in design, architecture, and innovation, all while supporting the free care fund at UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. Odyssey and McGee Women's Research Institute have teamed up for a new women's health podcast. Understudied asks researchers the biggest questions in women's health, and they're finding answers that could change lives around the world. Tune in where you find your podcasts. Sponsored by Genentech. NASCO Roofing takes pride in exceeding customers' expectations. If the recent storms caused you damage, get NASCO on your roof and see why they've satisfied thousands of customers. Call 412-373-2000 for NASCO Roofing.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than you dread yard work, with a swarm of hungry mosquitoes buzzing around, then you might have insuranoia. You should have NJM Insurance. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Minutes left in the broadcast, so if you have a quick tree-related question, I urge you to call us right now, 866-391-1020. You can reach them at 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. As promised, and he's been patient, here's Jerry in McMurray. Good morning, Jerry, and thanks for holding on, and welcome to KDKA.
Good morning. It's Gary, not Jerry, but...
Close enough. Go ahead.
My call. Hey, a friend of mine identified with one of those phone apps what I believe to be some gum trees. And these are in a clump. I guess there's 6 or 7 of them that I have growing out of one relatively small area. It has quite a large canopy on them at this point. And I refer to this as these trees as being dirty. They're constantly dropping twigs all year long, requiring a lot of ongoing kind of cleanup. But I guess my question is, will clearing these out somewhat, trimming them, will that help to prevent the dropping of those twigs? Do I need some of these removed? It seems like they all are growing up from maybe one root in the ground because it's constantly sending up new shoots in this area. Don't know whether you can shed any light on that or not.
All right, Gary, hold on. Go ahead, Troy.
So when you're looking at these types of trees, if they're dropping a lot of material, one of the best things you're going to be able to do is just take out all the dead wood, because they're not going to drop a lot of live material. They're going to be dropping dead twigs if they're dropping anything. And you said these are sweet gum trees, I believe? Well, my buddy identified them as some gum trees. Interesting. I don't know if that's correct, but yeah, you'll get a lot of different apps with a lot of different identifications. But you know, when you're looking at any type of tree that's dropping a lot of sticks, probably what you want to do is take the dead wood out of the tree. That'll minimize the amount of sticks that you're having drop there. And then if you have a ton of different shoots coming out of one root system, it could be a couple of things. It could be shoots coming up from an old tree that, was cut down and a lot of the root sprouts survived over time. It could just be one tree spreading, depending on what type of tree, again, it is. But you don't necessarily need to cut anything down unless it's causing a threat or a problem to your property in a way that's not manageable. So I would just recommend going through there, getting some deadwood taken out, and I can come out and take a look at the trees, see what we're dealing with in terms of the amount of dead in there, the type of tree, the issues that you're having. And we can get you a good plan to get these either pruned or managed, or if they're growing too dense and too close to the home or too close to infrastructure, we can remove what needs to be removed. But trying to take a conservative approach is probably our best move here.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome, Gary.
All right,
Thank
Gary,
you.
thanks a lot. Listen, we only have a couple of minutes left, so let's just let you, what have we learned on today's program? I'll reiterate a little bit of today's program. Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a couple of things. What we were talking about initially is Dutch elms disease and oak wilt and the pruning season. And basically what we were trying to get across is that you can only prune these types of trees, elm trees and oak trees, which there are a variety of both. But elm trees and oak trees, you can only really prune during a dormant season when the tree is not actively growing. So that's late November roughly through, mid-March roughly, depending on the year. And the reason for that is because there are vectors of disease, including certain types of beetles, as well as just proper conditions like increased heat and humidity that allow the fungal wilt, vascular wilt diseases like Dutch elms disease and oak wilt to be transferred to these trees and then potentially transfer through the water table. And that transfer is highly impacted by pruning. When you have pruning on the trees, it attracts those beetles to the trees, it opens up wounds, and it creates a situation where you are far more likely to get a disease that is difficult to manage on a tree that is very valuable. So doing it properly is an important thing. We do this pruning very properly. We manage it based on ANSI standards, the standards for the industry for pruning, and we manage mature trees very frequently. The thing is, we book up quite often all the way through the winter pretty early on. Sometimes as early as October, we're booked most of the way through the winter with oak prunings and elm prunings, trying to get all of our clients handled within that winter time frame. So if you are looking to have an oak tree pruned, or you're looking to have it checked out for health, or you want it managed in a way that is going to be beneficial for the longevity of the tree, give us a call earlier rather than later, and it's going to get you an opportunity to get this management done during the winter in the right time and keep that tree as happy and healthy as possible over the long term, as well as stable, so that we can, get the pruning done in a way that makes that tree urban compatible, like I was talking about, compatible with an environment where there are targets below that we need to protect from potential storm damage. That way we can reap the benefits of mature trees in our cities while still staying as safe as possible under the conditions that you have to basically accept that trees are going to drop some amount of limbs, but with proper pruning and preventative management and cabling and support systems, you can minimize the amount of risk that any tree poses to property or to people, and keep those trees as more of a valuable asset than they are something that's keeping you up at night, which I think they are either way. So please give us a call. We can come out and check those out and get you a plan to move forward.
All right, Troy, great job today. Lots of good calls. We appreciate it. We will do it again, okay?
Of course, Rob. Thank you.
There he goes. Troy Lampenfeld. He is a rock star for sure. 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. News coming up next with Rob. Then after Accurate Solutions, 2 hours of the best hometown sports talk show anywhere. It's the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Amongst our guests, the PG's Ray Fittipaldo on the Steelers beat. So stay with us till 1 o'clock on a Marathon Sunday at KDKA. Good morning.
The proceeding was paid for by Greater Pitt Tree Service. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the preceding program.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And when I went to go back down to the lobby area, the door opened and there was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I stopped and I said, "Looks like you guys are busy. Go ahead." He goes, "Get in." And then Bruno tells Arnold, "I hope I didn't frighten your little friend." I feel like sometimes I'm leading a Forrest Gump type life.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Plumbers, today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 National Premium Data.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 74 degrees, Pittsburgh International at 10 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Right now, our area is under a flood watch until midnight tonight. We'll have the complete AccuWeather forecast coming up with rain showers on the way here in our area. A motorcyclist died following a crash in Westmoreland County. 24-year-old Riley Hillegas, authorities said, was riding his motorcycle on Bauman Hollow Road in Hempfield Township late Friday night when he lost control of that motorcycle and struck a guardrail. Hillegas later died at a local hospital. Cause of the crash is under investigation. Crash between a bicyclist and a vehicle occurred at North Park. Bicyclist went to the hospital in critical condition. It's happened around 12:30 Saturday afternoon near the North Park Boathouse on Pierce Mill Road. Preliminary investigation found that the vehicle struck the bicyclist while turning left into the boathouse entranceway. Pittsburgh police are investigating after more than 30 shots were fired Friday night in the Hill District. Gunfire happened on Webster Avenue between DeVillers Street and Aaron Street around 11 o'clock on Friday night. No one was injured. Vehicles and apartments were struck by gunfire, though. Right now, no arrests have been made. Well, President Trump late Saturday announced on social media he's holding off on new strikes against Iran to allow for negotiations to continue after Tehran warned they would retaliate with any attack from the U.S. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers.
Iran has already threatened to retaliate against strikes on its energy sites by hitting Israeli targets and U.S. energy infrastructure in the Middle East, according to Iranian state media. A spokesman for Kuwait's Ministry of Defense says its air defenses intercepted Iranian drones